Oh, you haven't started the stream.
It's starting now.
Okay, cool. I was quite confused. Now I will go eat dead deer.
That's the weirdest damn thing ever.
I'm telling you, this has been a weird week. Weird week. Oh, yeah, that is True Detective. And I think I was just in True Detective in your son's room.
That kind of does look like a True Detective scene over there. Half-Life is weird. I love that game. That was one of my favorite games ever when it was on PC.
Man, that's crazy.
2-shot.
That is wild. There's going to be some wicked-ass porn pretty soon.
That already is. 360. It already is. And that new thing Apple put out?
Oh, did you watch the
Yeah.
what was it, the announcement?
We'll go under in the dark. Yeah.
Oh, you mean turn them up?
Nah, why not? They look cool. I don't know. It may be too dark for everybody else, but fuck it. I like it like this.
Is it up and running? The stream?
The stream is going.
The stream?
All right, let's do this.
The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed.
This week's episode of the Jerry Jonestown Massacre is brought to you by Geist Note, Victor Wrench, Plastic Object Photography, The Audio Head, and The Cicada, Fort Worth's newest bar and live music venue.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Now everyone relax your anus, because coming at you from the Temple of I, it's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre.
It is show number 528, and it is Tuesday, 6/6/23.
It's National Slayer Day, right?
National Slayer Day. Because they released that record on 6/6/6, right?
Something or other like that, man.
Oh my God, some mountain of smoke.
Yeah. Tell them they owe me headphones.
Yeah, that just completely crusted everything out. We need.
Did you see me struggling at the?
Like I'm looking at the levels here, and they're ridiculous.
Did you see me struggling with the knobs?
Yeah. Hey, but that freaked me out.
Well, when we were listening to it earlier, it was on the mains. We didn't have it in the headphones. I knew you were gonna play it. I just wasn't ready for the atomic bomb to be released on my headphones.
It was loud. I need to see one of their shows. I know they got one coming up at Rubber Gloves here.
Yeah.
In a month, at the end of the month or something like that.
Rubber Gloves.
I miss me some heavy mountain of smoke.
Before we get into anything, I got some housekeeping, some inside baseball that everybody's in the chat room is going to hear, and whoever listens to the show. Jerry Jonestown Massacre is linked to our fucking YouTube page. I mean, the Jonestown Massacre is linked up to our YouTube page. What the fuck is that all about?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Where are you?
Does anyone else in the chat room see when you go to our page? Does it show up in context and it has a story about the Jonestown Massacre?
Maybe
that's done by Wikipedia. It looks like.
Maybe the names just because it's a play on the names.
So they feel like they need to put the name in context for us. What if they're not describing the right context?
They aren't.
They're not.
And that's the same thing. Facebook does the same thing. It warns you when you go to our Facebook page now.
Okay, I've seen that.
That started up a little while ago,
But why is YouTube hell-bent on making sure that everybody knows the context of our podcast name? That just seems intrusive to me.
It's pretty intrusive. What does it say? The context of our...
It says...
Does it say it's the
it
devil?
Says... Okay, I'm not being funny here. It says... Jonestown Massacre, Encyclopedia Britannica. Jonestown, parentheses, November 18th, 1978, was the location of the mass murder-suicide of members of the California-based People's Temple cult at the behest of their charismatic but paranoid leader, Jim Jones. In Jonestown Agricultural Commune, Guyana, the death toll exceeded 900, including some 300 who were age 17 and under, making the incident one of the largest mass deaths in American. I can click on it and keep reading.
No, that's good.
But still,
You don't need to read the whole Wikipedia.
Well, when you do, it goes to Britannica's website. I just clicked on it, went to Britannica's website where you can watch a video and everything of it. So what the fuck?
Did they play the audio tape that we listened to that one day, driving back from Austin?
Do you think that's what set them off?
That was creepy as shit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we were spied on.
We probably are. They're
I
probably.
don't know, man. That just
They're
took me
trying to
aside,
take away
man.
our
Hey, can y'all see it in the chat room?
our money. Yeah, they see it in there.
We didn't put that up. YouTube.
We've synced it. All right, so yeah,
That's wild. This is a weird show. Weird pre-show.
and the Facebook thing is very weird. Oh well, everybody can get in there. Look, we got a room full of people. It's all good.
Everybody get
Happy
in here.
fun time. Happy
Gather
Tuesday,
around. Gather
everyone.
around. Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Don't
I can't find this Fort Worth Rock
ever
Assembly
try
thing.
red jarring.
What's red jarring?
Eesh.
Is that where it breaks?
No.
Oh.
It's where something's broke inside and it's reddish, yellowish, mixed.
Oh, in the shaft.
It's like load and reload.
Like when you tear, like I've talked about this in the past.
It's an injury.
It's when you tear the inside of your shaft, the little P tube.
And the next time you pee,
It's real
you're
red,
Oh,
and it stings, and it hurts.
can any male just talk about stuff like that? Like,
I can now because I've had it done to me, and now I know. Got hit in the dick with a baseball bat, and it ripped me open.
You remember how everybody
Yeah,
said when you went to the
what
Philippines?
happens when you play
and-
baseball?
Oh yeah, I played baseball, but I never had one. I never had a shot to the nuts that hard. But
It's the day the coach goes, "Y'all don't need cups. Y'all are just gonna be playing. Y'all are just hanging out, practicing, and
you
having
could have
fun."
sued him.
I could have.
What if
Could
he's
have
a
owned Hearst
billionaire?
Junior High.
Oh, was you playing for the junior high team?
Yeah.
You could have sued the whole. You could have sued the whole city of. You could have sued the state of Texas.
I could have owned HEB School District.
Imagine what kind of band we would have if you would have sued and we had just cajillions before we were even 18 years old.
What if I turned Trinity into my house? You just take the high school and turn it into your house.
I'd fucking make it into a skate park. Be like,
It
free
was-
skate
dude,
park for everybody.
That campus was good for skating. That was some fun.
A lot of
That was
broken
some good
bones
stuff.
out there.
Yeah. Bell was cool until they decided to close everything in.
Honestly, man, I'm going to be honest with you. In chat room, you can, if you're from DFW, you're welcome to argue this. But when Dustin and I were kids, Fort Worth had the better skate scene and skate like places, street skating places were better in Tarrant County, I thought, than Dallas County.
But if you wanted to do anything cool, you still had to go over to Dallas to
Jeff
Jeff
Phillips,
Phillips.
Botman,
Because there wasn't anything else around here
remember
like
Dirty
that.
Botman?
Yeah. I went out to Possum Kingdom this weekend, drove through Mineral Wells, and they've got a skate park in Mineral Wells now,
That's amazing.
in their park. But it's one of those steel ones
Well,
that's dangerous, like scares the shit out of me.
when I was a kid, the first time I ever skated a half pipe was at the Palestine YMCA. They converted a not ping pong, the blue one racquetball course into a
Skate park?
skate park, and it was real popular. Like a lot of guys, like some guys from Santa Cruz would come in every year and just skated all day. There was one guy that was
In
about to
Palestine.
turn in Palestine, Texas. There was one dude that was about to turn pro. He was a vert skater.
Yeah.
And then that's when those Stubbs got on the scene. Street skating.
What'd you
Changed
do?
everybody.
Throw something in front of his wheels one
that's
time
That's
and
when
you broke
everybody
his
started.
leg?
That's when everybody
You
started
go
hating skateboarders.
Oh, yeah.
They started putting boots on and hating skaters.
Who was I talking to today? It
These
was
shitty
like,
kids out here, man.
why the lights go out?
They did go out. Well, there's
That's
thunderstorms in the area.
Lights went out in Georgia. Yeah, when I was talking to someone, is like, skating was fun and good and everything until you started driving. And then once you started driving, skating kind of took a back seat to everything.
Except for immature me. I tried skating in 3 different other parts of my life after that. Just because I enjoyed myself when I was a kid so much.
I mean, I still, in the back of my Bug, I still had a board.
Yeah.
I always threw it in the back deck, and anywhere we'd go, you just bust it out if you're standing around waiting to play football. For everyone to show up to play football at one of the local fields or whatever.
Yeah, and then like every 5 years, you're like, you know what, I'm going to get
out.
back into this.
Yeah.
And then you get really hurt really quick, and you're like, yep, you know what, I'll visit it again some other time.
I mean, I want to go ride that pony ramp or that whatever that
yeah,
pump
that looks
park
awesome.
over there at Dickey's.
That's awesome.
Been
that
by
looks
there
awesome.
a few times, man. And
is that a standard at skate parks now? Is those pump ramps?
Are the big ones they're putting them in?
That's cool.
But that place is still packed. It's doing well. Kids are enjoying it. It's a great park. It's in a video game now. It's in one of the skate games.
Like Tony Hawk?
No, I think Skate. The game Skate.
That's cool.
Yeah, they put it in there.
Yeah. Man, remember that whole who was it? Neversoft that did all the Tony Hawks and the Matt Hoffmans. Those were badass games.
They re-released Tony Hawk 2 years ago?
Yeah.
On Xbox.
Yeah, and they thought I was gonna start up again, kind of because of what you have in there. By the way, probably.
I want to get to that in a little bit. I have it under technology.
Yeah, that'll be its own.
We have a technology segment.
That'll be its own little section.
Yeah.
Technology. So why'd you go up to Possum Kingdom? Just to take some pictures?
Get out of town. Get away from everything. Get away from...
Stack?
Go out. Chill out. No stacking. No stacking. I haven't stacked yet in a while. Need to.
What do you mean? You did it last month.
That's what I mean. That's the last time I've stacked.
Oh, man. It's so funny now. Like, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're not going to tell you. You'll just have to listen to some shows. But now it's coming up on my my Instagram ads. It's like new chocolates from Space City.
How are you getting them on your Instagram?
I have no idea. I guess I've talked about it too much, and they've put together what stacking means, I think, even. The ultimate stack.
Well, now
made for your podcast show.
Who are you ordering this from?
I'm not ordering them. I think it's still illegal to do that, right?
Can you online... This is where I go to jail.
In Texas, can you online order...
Well, they're illegal. They have to be sitting here. Yeah, look, they do. Okay, here we go. Neat.
You going to pull the trigger?
I have them sent to my office under someone else's name.
Yeah.
This is why we...
Do it under Treb.
He no longer works there.
Oh, that's right.
And I'll be like, I'll take his mail to him. I see him all the time. We'll do it that way. Yes, you're right.
Unless any one of your supervisors are listening to the show, then we just busted ourselves.
They may be. I think about that. M&M's chocolate bar, pretzel chocolate bar.
So how's the weather out there? Was it stormy? Because it's kind of been
nice.
Raining off and on and stormy off and on in the last couple of days.
It was nice. Watched it build up driving back in. It built up to the east of here.
You're addicted to the west right now, aren't you? It seems like every time you travel, you're going west.
It's just easier than driving through Dallas to go east.
Last time we met up...
I'm going north this weekend.
Well, that's the thing, is last time that we met up with my wife's family.
You said you had an S on there. How many?
My wife's... Well, her family. It was a what do you call it? A possessive S.
Okay, your wife's family.
My wife's family. A group of them went up 35 up towards Choctaw and all that, or not 35. Which one goes up 75? Up north towards McKinney and all that, all the way into Oklahoma, and then just bust a right on an old country road. Country. That sounds like a country song name.
Like you're going
Country
towards,
Show Road.
Like you're going towards Broken Bow?
Right. And then just keep on trucking to Arkansas. That's how they came. So you don't necessarily have to go directly through Dallas.
But Broken Bow's only 20 miles.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Or else I would have gone over there the last time we were up there. I would have been like, oh, let's go over here.
Well, it's funny because that's where I was telling you that when I was taking my daughter for her first fishing trip, that dude was telling me that Disney's buying a bunch of land up there, and they're built. That's what he was doing like plumbing or some shit for Disney up there.
Is this
apparently.
for real though? Because they're supposedly buying land everywhere, and then they have 3 parks they built out.
Well, you know me. I immediately just said China. That's what I immediately said.
There's a very interesting documentary about their alliance
with Oklahoma, or
no
Disney and China.
There's a very how they completely changed.
I think
once they
we were going over that
Disneyland China or something.
Wasn't that in the show notes? But I retired that night.
No, I don't think that was on last week's show notes or not.
Were we texting about it?
I thought we may have talked about it earlier, like a few months ago. But yeah, I can't remember the documentary, but it's crazy because it talks about all the stuff they conform to in order to put Disneyland China together, or Disneyland Beijing or whatever. But they had to change a whole bunch of crap, and now, it's affected everything with their movies and the studios and everything they're putting out. Their toys, they have to meet China's
instead of Americans' guidelines. They have to meet guidelines from China.
Yeah, to fit in their culture and everything. And what they have to. There was a Marvel movie with a gay character. They had to take it out of the China release.
What?
And the Star Wars, when the two
Why
girls
doesn't
kiss
the media
at the end,
report
they took
that?
it out.
It seems like the media should report that.
I think they did, but no one cares.
Well, this wasn't a Fox News story, was it?
No, it's not.
It's
we're getting to
the documentary.
No. The documentary. I have to find it.
But
it may have been on Netflix or something.
Huh. We've heard that. We've heard that because of our sources, and by sources I mean podcasts that we listen to sometimes.
Yes. God dang it! Yeah, I have to find it. But it went in. I want to say it was like a multi-part thing, but one of them was just about China and all the stuff they did. The Little Mermaid tanks in China and South Korea amid racist backlash from some viewers.
What was racist about Little Mermaid?
She's black now.
Oh, you mean the Koreans were being racist?
Yeah.
Because the new character was the new Little Mermaid is black? Eesh, man. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'll have to dig it out. I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around here.
I don't know how you didn't get paranoid watching that.
What, China? About China?
Yeah. Because you know it already. Most of the stuff you had heard.
Well, you kind of saw that. I mean...
Didn't some funny stuff happen with ESPN, too? Is it in there in the documentary?
I don't remember if it talks about that in the documentary with ESPN, but there's going to Disney World as much as I did as a kid.
Yeah.
With family and stuff, you kind of always kept track. And with the CEOs,
I still have Disney.
CEOs that change seats and positions and everything, you kind of keep track of the business side of what they're doing, and it's just, I don't know. Disney's pretty dark.
It is. And it's all, it's all mass media. The thing is, it's just like Chick-fil-A. I'm not going to stop eating Chick-fil-A, but it sucks some of the things they do. Same with
Didn't we talk
Disney.
about that last week before you retired?
I think we did. That was a pre-retirement conversation. But yeah, dude, it's the same thing. I'm not going to get rid of Disney. I can't. I can't let go of Star Wars. There's no way.
If they would just give that back to Lucas.
I know. Then
or fire
then
Kathleen.
It's the full on fuck you, China.
Is it Kathleen Kennedy? Fuck her.
Yeah,
get her out of there. She fucked everything up.
Well, I guess the AC is shorting out the light switch.
It's the LEDs. They're not bright enough. You got to give them more juice.
You want some more juice?
You got to give them more juice.
Get some more juice.
They got to have more juice. So yeah, I went out to. I'm surprised Disney isn't buying land around Possum Kingdom. Man, it's nice out there right now. The flowers are in bloom. It's so green.
Dude, the weather.
It's rained so much out there that, usually that whole area is underneath a burn scare and a burn ban this time of year. But it was so green. Flowers were beautiful all over the sides of the roads.
We got a morning glory growing in the corner of our yard.
You gonna milk it?
We might. I told Mandy that. I was like, you know what you can do with those? That's another psychedelic.
I walked out to my mom.
You could be another. What were we calling her? The doser or the
Like my mom did me here.
Pharmacist?
When I first moved. Yeah, the was she the pharmacist?
But
yeah,
the chemist.
The chemist.
Yeah, the chemist.
When like my mom did me years ago when I first moved in the house and planted a bunch of plants.
Yeah.
I did the same to my mom at the weekend of Aiden's party. I was like, I walked back there. It's like, oh, so this is psychedelic corner, huh? Look at all these psychedelic plants you could just milk.
I thought it was the seeds you could eat. Is it? You have
is that
to,
what you put in the tea?
I have no idea. I've never done Morning Glory. I've just heard that you can trip, and it's one of the native trips of Texas.
And nightshades.
Yeah, nightshades too.
You make the tea out of the nightshade, and it's like a 15-minute, super intense for 15 minutes, and then you're out.
Oh, is it like a DMT trip where you're just like gone to outer space?
That's what I've heard.
Like a what is the?
I have a friend that did it, and that's what they said.
What's the frog one? Wasabi or wasabi?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Wasabi. Kids, don't try to trip off of wasabi.
Inhaling wasabi, thinking
it's just going to cause you problems, kids. Don't do that, and don't red jar.
Nightshade plant. Here I am looking up mushroom bars and nightshade plant trips. And
witches that are eating carcasses of deer.
No. Maybe that was under nightshade.
Maybe that's why I'm getting all these mushroom ads on my Instagram. Because I'm looking up stupid shit like that.
Nightshade.
I'm on a nightshade. Love that stuff. I'm on a nightshade. I can never get
Susie filled it in.
I'm on a nightshade.
The pharmacist.
Ready to crash and burn. What's up, Susie?
She said it was the pharmacist.
Oh, it's the pharmacist.
Yeah. Anyway.
In a post-apocalyptic
Deadly
world, you want a
nightshade.
Deadly.
Star-shaped purple flowers. Psychedelics and witchcraft. The truth about hallucinogenic hexing herbs. So what if you take one of these nightshades? It'll give you a
massive.
You're hexed.
Oh no. No bueno. Then I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm not going to do that.
Hexed. I don't need to.
I'll need a bunch of ladies throwing crystals and shit at me.
Deadly nightshade's name is well deserved. Every part of the plant is poisonous, and as few as 5 of its deceptively sweet berries
sounds like
kill an adult.
It sounds like a metal album title.
All right, so I got a question. We're talking about this right here, and I got thinking. Alone, the new season of Alone starts on Thursday on History Channel. I love that show.
I do too.
I've watched every way. Every season, love it, and I'm ready for this one to fire up.
I hope the jackpot's going up higher.
The one thing I suck at is plant identification. I could never eat anything out there, or I'd probably eat something, and the next thing you know,
fuck it, they got an app.
World.
Just take the app.
You can take a phone in there, and you wouldn't have service.
You gotta smuggle it, man, to the prison style.
So could you survive out in the woods? Identifying plants and eating off berries?
In East Texas, I probably could. In East Texas and maybe the hill country, I probably could.
Well, nothing really grows in the hill country.
If you just drop me where they drop these fellas and fellas,
like mushroom identification, I'm horrible at.
Yeah, there's no way I'd die immediately.
Yeah, I have 3 different types growing in my backyard, and
I'd be that dog that always gets sick because of mushrooms sprouting out in the yard in springtime around here.
The death cat.
Just always
like what happened to Roxy?
Right.
Yeah, she nearly died because it was destroying her liver.
That's why I'd smuggle an app in my butthole.
But if you were just dropped off with nothing,
mark that.
Could you survive?
I think there's places in Texas. I think I could do it. It would suck, but if push came to shove, you went into a bank and you were looking at something, and you're glad you got consumed with looking for something in the bank. And there was a nuclear war, and you walked out, you're the only one there. I think if it was in East Texas...
With all the books and your glasses?
My glasses fall off.
And your glasses fall off?
If I could make my way to Texas...
That was called All the Time in the World, wasn't it, that episode?
Wasn't that like the second or third one? Oh, I got to tell you something.
It was one of the first episodes.
Here, just put Matt needs to... are we doing a TV segment or something? I'll put it in the notes.
Yeah, it's down there in the bottom.
But anyway, I think I could in East Texas. I think East Texas, maybe the hill country. I don't know about old Big Ben.
There's not much to eat down there except cactus, and you're pretty much good. You just cut them open, drink the water, and you can eat the nectar of a cactus, right?
I just try to find Cosmico and be like, "Hey, I need some water and some food. If that's not too much to ask for." They would be gone because it's post-apocalyptic.
Let's see here. I had it wrong. No, it wasn't that one. Shit.
What about you? How do you think you would fare?
Time Enough at Last. It was episode 8, aired in 1959.
That was the first season, though, right?
Yep. The first season.
Wasn't that Pigface, too?
Episode 8. Was he in the first season? I don't remember the name of that one.
Remember the Seinfeld with Pigface? Or Pigman?
Yeah, with Pigman in it. I used to watch all these
Oh, yeah.
the time.
My mom and I were heavily into Twilight Zone when I was a kid.
I went back and started buying them all up. I think I got a bunch of the DVDs in there. I love it.
When they put, that it came out on Netflix during COVID, or right before it, like either the year before it or right during it. And I watched a bunch of Twilight Zone back then.
The Hitchhiker.
When I was getting yelled at by my friend and his. Are they married yet? Or what's the deal with that?
I don't know. I got in trouble.
Can't discuss that.
It's semantics. That's what I was told.
Was this your glorious night?
I mean, anytime you get to drop the C-bomb on someone, it's pretty glorious. Although how come nobody thinks the C-bomb is as funny as I do?
Oh, right here, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
I mean, to me, it's no big deal. It's a funny word. It's not the most shocking thing in the world. Yeah.
It's a perfect insult.
I mean,
fuck.
Susie on Curb Your Enthusiasm walks in. Fuck you, you car wash cunt. That's the funniest line ever.
Yeah. No, Larry David knows the greatness of the cunt.
Yeah. It was
Dude,
great.
Speaking of Larry David, I forgot that he was in Seinfeld. One of the seasons he played an attorney of someone that was.
Oh, he's in it all over the place.
And he has remember when he has the cape on, and he's talking to Costanza's dad, and Costanza's dad's getting a divorce, and that's his divorce attorney.
Oh,
but then
yeah.
But they keep Costanza's dad keeps waving off the, or they get back together, and then they start yelling at each other and like, divorce back on.
Yeah, that.
That was Larry David that was wearing a cape at the very beginning.
He's also, what's his name?
Steinbrenner.
Yeah. And then he's working in.
You could hear him laughing when he does those lines.
He is. He's trying to get them out. They're pretty genius.
Yeah, because they're just goofy. Man, what a dream life. Who else? Okay, let's think about this for a second, because I've been watching a lot of New York programming, okay?
Like, what do you mean New York programming?
Just old school, like Seinfeld, like Larry...
Friends.
Not Friends.
You nearly fell into that one.
But Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm, his movies, just anything. And then I guess this isn't New York, but it's Northeast. Cheers, and just
Boston.
All kinds of cool ass shows from the Northeast back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And who do you think had the easiest and coolest fun? Not easiest, but the most fun job up in New York in the 90s. Larry David has to be on the top list. So does Jerry Seinfeld,
Jerry
right?
Seinfeld, yeah.
David Letterman has to be up there.
Oh, yeah. The greatest. The
Howard
goat.
Stern.
Yeah. When he was good.
Yeah.
Before he got all woke.
Well, yeah. Well, before he got all woke.
What does he say before?
He was unwoke then.
I listened to your podcast. What did he call it? What did he say? Before Gary got his teeth fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who out of those guys would you, if you could trade places with, would you be a part of? Like, what would you have been a part of if you lived in New York then and you were in the scene of comedy?
Letterman.
Yeah.
I fucking love Letterman.
Being a writer for Letterman would be pretty fucking baller.
Hanging out with him all the time, doing stuff.
Just bouncing jokes off each other.
And he survived.
Oh, yeah.
After banging one of his interns, he survived.
He did survive. #me too.
He got through that.
Did he do a come to Jesus type thing? He did?
And he's like, I shouldn't have done it, blah, 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 blah. In the workplace thing, type thing. And he made it through.
Yeah. Well, would you say Louis C.K. has made it through, or is he still kind of...
There's a lot of people that still hate him.
I think I would work with Larry David in that scene, because his humor is so fucking...
Seinfeld made it through, too.
Yeah, he did.
All the shit he did, and marrying a 18-year-old. How old was she when they got married?
What's the deal with 18-year-olds?
like that was a whole weird thing.
Yeah.
Because it was something like they were courting when she was 17 or some shit.
You got to be an elitist. You got to have money.
If you're Seinfeld, you'd have a badass Porsche collection.
Yeah.
Some of the only Porsches in America he owns.
What about Saturday Night
Certain
Live?
role.
That'd be a cool crew to be a part of, but I don't think we would survive that.
I'd be Norm
Dead.
Macdonald, dead.
Yeah, I'd die within a year.
Not that the stories of that '90s scene.
No way I'm making it through that.
Those
No
parties they
way.
had, those rap parties they had. Yeah, those stories are out of
They have
control.
forgotten more cocaine than most of our friends have done. They've forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
all single-handedly probably snort, and smoke crack, I guess, Columbia under and out of business.
They've probably done enough coke there to cover Columbia in 3 inches of it all the way from coast to coast, from border to border.
Just think how if that was like something that every American had to do. If you had to you had to get a coke habit for your most successful years in life. We would have all this cool ass shit that started off awesome, like being made and designed, and like computers that could tell the future and all this AI and all that. And then all of a sudden it would just turn to dog shit. Like after about 6 months.
Well, that's when you just recycle
Everybody-
everybody. You
okay,
just
yeah,
get rid
let
of them and you bring another.
Yeah.
All these guys have killed themselves off, so then you
It's
bring
time
in
to
the
get the
next
new
batch.
coke heads in.
Bring a new batch.
Kind of just described
Maybe
art, didn't
that's
it? Art
the
and
difference.
music.
Maybe that's why it's like the every other generation of caste theory.
Yeah,
like
for
you have
sure.
the first generation that was great, and then it tanked for a while, and then you had the '90s generation that came back,
Ripping it for like
and
6
they were
months
great,
and then just
and
dying.
then 2000 sucks, and now you got. Well, we're in the 20s. You know, 2000 sucks for a long time. The teens were okay.
Yeah.
They were all right, and then now it's kind of sucking again.
I think it's coming back though. I think comedy's coming back hard. I really do. I think
I mean, I
comedy's
still watch it.
comedy's one of the one things through all this craziness we've had in the last 10 years that has actually, I think, been punk rock. I think they have done more. There's been more punk rockers that have took a stand for things in comedy than any other art.
One of the things that we did on the way to Big Ben in my car with Susie and Andrew was we watched a lot of roasts.
Oh yeah,
And good God,
not a chance.
they're so
Not a chance.
fucking good.
Not a chance right now.
I-
Like I would be
Didn't
declining
they just
roast.
have one last year?
Oh, did they?
I thought they just had like Charlie Sheen.
I think
or
the
some
last
shit.
one I saw was Justin Bieber.
We watched that one. We watched what all did we watch?
I
What's his
remember
name
every
from
time we
Full
pulled
House?
over, you'd come over and be like, "Man, I forgot how insane this one episode, that one roast was." And I was like, "Y'all watching a roast?"
We are RoboTuner. We're gonna get to it. Yeah, we were just. I download. They're on one of the apps, the Paramount app. They were all just sitting there, like waiting for me, going here, watch us. And I was like, I haven't watched these in forever. So
How much does a ticket to go to a roast cost?
Mhm.
I wonder if
They're all secret. We
is
watched
Joe
Bob
Rogan
Saget.
doing them now down in Moon Tower
Maybe. Yeah, I thought that'd be a funny
or
thing
Mothership.
for us to be roasted on our 10-year anniversary. We had just have to sit there. And everybody fling shit at us.
I'd be like, "Dude, don't fucking say I talk too much on a podcast."
And then I'd be like, here we go. I hope y'all are ready for
Anybody
us
get
to
that
fling
joke
back.
that listened last week? Say I talk too much, motherfucker.
Everybody's just antsy with anticipation in there.
Is someone gonna roast Stubbs? And tell him he's
RoboTuner
always
wants to be
running
the
his mouth?
headline roaster.
Oh my gosh, that's worth it right there. Just to get,
Start working on your set, RoboTuner. We may make this happen
Yeah.
just in here.
just to have you come roast us.
I'd pay money for that.
Skip's not allowed though.
Yeah, so we watched Bob Saget,
Great one.
and I had the David Hasselhoff downloaded. I had James Franco downloaded. We watched Justin Bieber. We watched Rob Lowe,
Yeah.
and started Alec Baldwin. and he was the last one, September 15th of 2019. So they haven't had one since 2019. So maybe you're right. You can't do this. Well, we had COVID,
Yeah.
so you couldn't have that.
I bet
I
you
wonder what'll come
if
back.
it's not going around right now somewhere and we just don't know about it, I bet Joe Rogan down there in Austin.
He'll
He'll
get
probably
Jeffrey
get that
Ross
come on
to come
down
in
here, man.
and stuff. Jeffrey Ross did a roast in a prison.
Yeah, I
to
saw. I
prisoners.
remember watching
What
that.
the fuck?
And they loved it.
Yeah.
They freaking loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
Or were they just like, y'all just act like we like it so we can stay out here?
you
It
never
was funny
know.
though. I thought it was real funny.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. That's pretty ballsy.
I want that hat.
I don't need Skip to roast. All right, start writing your material. Start getting your
It's
jokes
got to be
ready.
approved by us.
What, his jokes? Well, then that wouldn't work. We
Oh,
would
yeah.
know what was coming.
It's got to be approved by Brian. Brian's got to give him the stamp of approval for
Yeah.
the jokes.
And it's a mushroom stamp, so get ready for that.
Hey, I saw his last one. Thomas's. I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty good.
Thomas is what?
His
last one?
stand up.
Oh, yeah.
I think I fell off the stage that night.
I heard on Thursday that Brian's stand-up was freaking outstanding. It was really good. Down at, what you do, Hopper?
Improv?
The comedy club, Hyenas in Fort Worth. It was really good. One thing I want to bring up, Mineral Wells.
No.
When I was in Mineral Wells, I found a building I want to buy.
I thought it was I thought it was a racetrack. Sorry.
I also found a go-kart track. That's where I will begin my F1 career at a late stage in life. I also need to get down to about 150 pounds, so that's going to be really weird.
I think you need to get shorter too.
I need to get shorter. I don't know. Russell's pretty fucking tall.
He does look tall.
How tall is George Russell? But I need to be in the 140, 150 range. How do you think that would look in this day and age? I'd have
People
all
would
sorts
think
of
you had
flab,
cancer.
weird flab everywhere.
Yeah,
if
every
I just
time
lost it real quick.
either one of us loses weight, Marlon always comes up to us like, "You got cancer, man?"
Got cancer. Oh, George Russell's 6'1". I'm 6. We're good.
Yeah.
I can fit in a car.
I think the way they do it is if you're a badass, they're going to design the car around you, so you don't have to really change anything, Dustin. They're going to be like, "We got to get him in the car." As soon as they see your skills,
They will.
They're
They'll be
gonna-
like,
we gotta get
"You
'em in."
need to be in a car. Most Formula One drivers are about 175 centimeters tall. There are very few drivers that exceed 180 centimeters. 180 centimeters. Who does this? No one cares.
does what?
I also don't need to
F1?
know.
I'd
Like
like to.
their weight is in stones. Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
George Russell weighs 70 kilograms.
Anybody got a calculator?
Anybody?
Anyone? Can I get a waddle? I guess that's a no, chat room.
Pounds.
We need a
to
converter. Pounds to stones.
kg. We do this. We put this in.
But their money's called pounds.
It is. It's all weird.
That's backwards, man.
I don't know.
Freaking-
Swap this.
BBC guys, y'all get your shit together.
I
all right?
know, right?
Get your stuff together.
So 154 pounds is where you can kind of hang out in. That's 11 stones.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Would you pay pounds to get on a diet program to lose some stones?
I guess so. That's very Ted Lasso-ish.
Well, we got to talk about that.
That's down here. Anyway, yeah, so I want to buy a building in Mineral Wells. I found it. It's badass.
Is it
It's
haunted?
2-story. It probably is. Everything in Mineral Wells is haunted.
Any deer?
Did see a bunch of deer.
Any deer carcasses?
No. Didn't see anybody eating any deer either. But it's right in downtown. I'm not going to say what building it is. I've looked up all the tax information. It's sitting vacant right now.
Oh, you're like looking into you're teeing up some finance.
Oh, I've already put the feelers out to my people out in Weatherford that know people in Weatherford that might know what's going on with this.
Okay. Yeah.
No, this is I'm in. It's got the first level's business, the second
Like a
second
mixed use
story?
property, or
yeah, it's street level business
is it on the square?
down below. There is no square in Mineral Wells.
I thought there was. Oh, that's Weatherford. Weatherford has the square,
They
right?
have a square, yeah.
Sorry, Mineral Wells.
you got a first floor that is business. It's on the street. It's set up really nice. You can turn it into a really cool joint, and then upstairs is residence.
Oh yeah.
And then upstairs,
that'd be badass.
then there's a little storage area on a third
The
floor.
whole
above it.
building is vacant right now.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
It's
I'd be down with
badass.
moving down there. That'd be
And
awesome.
I got to look in the tax
A lot
records.
of naders though. A lot of naders. Every time you're listening to the Fox News on WFAA, they're talking about Mineral Wells. Look out! We got some rotation.
Where this is, no worries.
Is it? Is there a basement? Like
there might be, but the way the geography of this setup, I wouldn't worry about tornadoes. It's not. Tornadoes tend to happen in flat places that are out in the open.
And this is in one of the hilly parts.
This is in the hills.
Yeah.
In downtown Mineral Wells. And if it does get bad, I just walk a couple of buildings over to a AT&T nuclear bunker and ride it out. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. And the racetrack's different. Now the racetrack, the go-kart track,
is in Tornadoville.
That would be in Tornadoville. That I'd worry about. And there's a cult right next door. I don't understand what's going on with this place.
Did you look up what the name was?
No.
Was it the Kingdom of the Dead? Or the Children of the Dead? Or the Kingdom of the Children? Something like that? Because that's what
I want to say
the lands I went on East Texas.
There was dead in it?
I think it was called the Kingdom of the Dead or the Children of the Dead.
There's no way. Really?
Yeah. It was right by the summer camp that I worked at.
Let's see here. Cottages on the corner. First Baptist Church of Possum Kingdom.
That wasn't a cult back then, but it might be now considered a cult. The way everything's going.
It's just called. I see Cottages on the Corner. It's this weird, like 2 rows of houses that all look they're kind of the same, but not really.
Oh,
they're all kind of uniform. And they're just out there in the middle of nowhere, right next to a big giant church.
Hey,
come on now.
While we're talking about cults, or a sidebar on cults, we're talking about Mineral Wells. You mentioned that you guys might have another show coming up pretty soon in this summer. Y'all got to do it again.
There's talk about that.
You got to do it again, man. That was so creepy and cool.
We've gotten so many people be like, man, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I was
dude,
like, what?
I think you all should do that every show. I think I told that to every single member of the band. I was like, dude, you got to do that.
Difficult to play with.
I bet it is. But you just practice. Y'all sounded good, so just practice a little more before that show.
And get used to having shit on your face.
Get used to. Well, I can help y'all with that if you like.
You're just gonna fling poo at us?
Well, no, not poo. Unless you're like that, I guess I could.
Man, if you look on Google Maps, you can see the
$20 is $20.
It is. On Google Street View, you can get the phone number to call about this racetrack out there.
So it was completely vacant.
Completely vacant. Dead.
It doesn't look like it was that
a giant 2-story building, had a garage, had everything.
It didn't really look that dilapidated. Is that a word?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you could still drive on it. Anarchy go-karts that used to sit at Hemp Hill and 20.
Yeah.
By that old water park. Everything's gone there now, but we used to call it Anarchy go-karts. That place looked worse than the condition of the track out at Possum Kingdom.
We should turn it into a tactical, training facility for cars.
There's no trees or nothing. It's just kind of weird. The building's huge.
Is the track cool or is it lame?
It's pretty cool. I dug it.
I was thinking about. It was funny you sent that right before I was about to hit y'all up to go to Mario Andretti's, because I have been told that their policy about having to make a reservation is no mas. You can just show up.
No, you can just show up and go. Yeah,
we need to do that. It needs to be a field trip
up there to do that
for sure. A podcasting field trip.
Yeah.
We'll invite the Funky Town Massacre guys. Wait, that's not a show, is it? That was what we called Jeffrey Lord and
Funky Town Podcamp Massacre or something like that.
Yeah. I got to figure out what I'm going to put my patch on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a thong.
If you
fit it on a thong.
If you went camping with us, you get one of these. But it's got to be a good trip. You get one of these Funky Town Podcamp Massacre. Fishing, drinking, camping, and cursing.
Let me see it.
Since 2018. We're almost out of them. We got like 6 or 7 more. Anyway.
Fishing, drinking, camping, cursing.
So I
Ready?
guess that's shooting the shit.
Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to talk about that doesn't have much to do with things except TV. Before we do anything about technology or Foo Fighters or Formula One. Or witches eating
And we'll get to
dead deer. So, Mandy and I started doing a little couples thing, like you know how you get married and you got to watch things together and stuff like that, or you know you just fall in love with someone, you start watching the shows together, right?
This sounds stupid.
I don't know, man. I don't think you're going to. Hit up the 007 music. Da-da-da-da. We started on Dr. No, and we're going to watch all, 28 movies of James Bond.
You know, I don't think I've seen all of them.
Yeah, I'm going through all of them.
I don't think I've ever... I have my favorites, but I don't have...
I'm liking the latest ones. Like once
Roger Moore, definitely I didn't see any of those. I don't think.
That's when I started tailing off. Actually, it was before that. I started tailing off right after Pierce Morgan was done.
And if you go back and watch Pierce Morgan ones, oh shit, they're cheesy,
dude.
They're so cheesy.
When we started with the first one, Dr. No, of course. We're gonna do them in sequential order, and which I don't think matters in James Bond, right? I think you can watch them in. I mean, no, you're supposed to watch them in consequential, like how they were put
not
out.
until you get to Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's are in order for a reason.
Okay.
The entire Daniel Craig story arc is how many is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of those is one story.
Okay.
Or kind of. It all falls around one story.
All right, we're doing it in chronological order anyway.
Yeah.
So, and so we started Dr. No the other night. Man, I fell asleep like 10 minutes in it because it's such a quiet movie. Like the old way I remember it being action packed when I was a kid. I used to volley on my mom when she was watching James Bond when I was supposed to be in bed on Sunday nights. ABC, they played James Bond movies, and I'd always be yelled at, "Hey, go to bed!" And so I'd sneak out about 20 minutes afterwards and go watch the rest of the movie, like hiding behind a couch or something.
Because there's so much sex in them.
Dude, remember those intros?
Mm-hmm.
And every single woman in it is just amazingly hot. Every single man.
Until you get to Halle Berry. It's gonna...
I didn't mind her.
I'm not a fan of hers.
Who is that? Never mind. We can talk about that another time. But the show is so quiet. It's like it's opposite of what action movies have now.
But then it gets super loud for no reason.
It wakes you the fuck up.
Yeah. That's what's weird about like the audio in those back then. Because I remember going back and watching Goldfinger and it being like,
yeah,
it is. Why is it so quiet? And then all of a sudden, loud, like shit's being slammed around and
their silencers don't sound like silencers either. No. They're like, yeah, you're like, what is that?
It is funny going back and watching old movies like that,
yeah,
and listening to the sound beds of what they used or the sound effects they use and stuff, and being like, that gun does not sound like that. Here, let me show you. No, Roger Moore, I did watch. It's the Timothy Dalton ones. I've never seen the two
you
Timothy
didn't watch
Daltons.
Any of the Timothy Daltons?
No, I didn't watch those. And what's his name? George Lazenby.
They haven't had a female one yet, right?
No, and that's what everybody thought was going to happen.
With Angelina Jolie or something like that? That's Tomb Raider.
Daniel Craig in Spectre. He loses, I think it's Spectre. He loses his 007. Because have you seen all the Daniel Craig? They're the best. They're the greatest.
I love him.
He loses his status with...
Is he known to have a big dong?
MI6. I think so.
He's one of those guys?
He came out one time saying that he has to go to... When he goes out to drink, he's got to go to gay bars because no one will...
What's wrong with that?
No one will bother him there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
people
can be left alone.
To him?
He'll be left alone and people are nicer. He's like, if I go to a normal bar, I'm just, either someone wants to pick a fight or someone wants,
they want to
just
show
wanna
their
bug
Krav
me or
Maga
whatever. Because he was
skills.
talking about going to watch soccer matches and stuff. He goes, so I'll go to a gay bar or something, and so I can chill out and be left alone.
Dude, that's what we need to start doing.
It's the easiest way to do it. I'm gonna go watch it.
I'm joking, chat
But
room.
he loses his 007 status.
I gotta go to gay bars.
And there's a girl that takes 007 from him, takes the name
Oh, yeah.
007 from
In
him,
the-
and the inspector, and she keeps it till No Time to Die, which is the only James Bond movie where I was like,
Oh, you got cry face. Remember how badass the game was at first?
yeah,
Like
they
then they
re-released it on.
And everybody said it was terrible.
They released it on Xbox, and it sucks. GoldenEye is not fun anymore.
Oh man,
Especially
it
when
didn't
you're running
hold up
around.
to what's going on in there right now.
No. Now, if they put GoldenEye in VR, let's go.
But yeah, that's our little thing we're gonna do. I'll report back in too as we go along. Next up, we got With Russia from Love, or wait, From Russia with Love.
From Russia with Love. How often are y'all doing this?
Oh, just whenever we're like usually. I want to try to probably do it on Sunday nights
Whenever
because
you're
that's
in
when I was
coitus, just sitting there.
Wolverine.
From Russia with Love. Then you have Goldfinger,
Yeah,
a Thunderball. You only live twice. I'm trying to.
isn't there one called like Pussy Riot or something or Octopussy? Yeah,
Yeah, that was a Roger Moore. That was a good one.
yeah.
For Years Island. I don't think I saw View to Kill.
Octopussy Riot. There you go. You're dressed up as James Bond playing Pussy Riot music. Dude, I just thought of a great cover band.
GoldenEye's pretty bad though too. As great as that game was, I went back and tried to watch it, and then whatever the one is with what's her name, where her name is Christmas.
Her name is Christmas.
Yeah, it's the chick. God dang it! What was that girl's name? God,
Describe her.
she was in Wild Things. Denise Richards, Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
that's
Yeah,
it.
thank you,
Tomorrow
Robert
Never
Kirk.
Dies.
Yeah, that one is terrible.
But
And her
Back
name is
then?
Christmas, and he's like, I always come on Christmas or something like that. And you're like, oh, all the innuendos. Or you're like, oh my God, stop it.
they make your palms all
Or I
sweaty
can-
now. You're like,
And he's
there's
like,
no way. Oh, the first
I
episode.
can make Christmas come more than once a year. And you're like,
Dude,
what? Oh my
check
God.
this out. Dr. No, like maybe the second scene or the third scene in the whole movie, James Bond walks into the office, sits down in the secretary's lap, and starts like gazing into her eyes and being all fresh and talking all. I'd buy that for $1. It's like they didn't give a shit about showing flirting
No.
the old style, the behemoth style.
And what's the one? Is it GoldenEye where? Yeah, it's the one with the chick that is Russian. And
How
she's,
bad did it suck for women back in the 50s and the 60s, man?
It was really, really bad. I mean, that's when Sean Connery said, you know,
You-
every once in a while you just got to slap a woman.
That's when you can make a joke about your hooker trying to crawl away.
Yeah. Toad the Wet Sprockets tonight. And so's Weezer.
Man, Weezer comes. Are they at up north?
They're at that place right over there with Modest
Windstar?
Mouse. No, the Toyota Music Pavilion.
Oh, cool. Now that'd be cool to see.
Toad the Wet Sprockets at Tana Hills.
Last few times Weezer's been in, it seems like they had played
I shot Weezer last time they were here
the
with Pixies.
casinos.
Yeah. And it was all right.
I just want to toad the. I'm sorry, man. Chat room, forgive me, for I know not like the
I'm getting
Toad
live
the-
reports
toad the
from
wet sprockets.
I'm getting live reports from Tana Hills right now. Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Tell them thanks for going out there for us and telling us about it. Are they the one that sings right here, right now?
That was Jesus Jones, wasn't it?
Or was that EMF? No, EMF,
EMF
did.
is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Meow.
You know, we never played our set list
Oh,
while we were out in Big Ben.
the shittiest set list ever. All right, so I want to talk about something that went down today that I'm confused about. News about midway through the day is that the PGA is now merging with the Live Tour.
I saw that.
After all the bullshit
so
we've gone
confusing.
through for 2 years,
Yeah.
the PGA and the Live Tour are now merging to become one, and half the players on the PGA Tour didn't even find out about it until they hopped on Twitter today.
Yeah.
They had no clue this was happening. I don't understand. There's been all this bullshit and everybody being pissed off at each other and fighting and stuff, but then the head honcho of the PGA and one of the sheiks, King Mohammed
Easy.
Osri, no, that's what his name is, something like that. From Saudi Arabia, the crown prince, they get in a room together and all of a sudden they're buddy, and or you're going to do this, or
Oh, wow.
it's either money,
Or you're going to do this. So
Yeah.
what if, so you don't think that there's any way possible that this was a Netflix marketing scheme with a new golf group and the PGA that were like, hey, let's plan this out a little bit.
Did you watch?
I didn't finish it.
Full Swing. You didn't.
Mm-mm.
Did you get to the part where they talked about the Live Tour
Yeah. I
and
did.
how the players were all kind of going back and forth and figuring out what they wanted to do, and some of them that were getting too old and not doing good on the PGA Tour, they started going on Live because they were getting offered, $100 million, $200 million to play, but the ones that would stay packed were like getting pissed at those players for leaving. And
You don't
crap.
think all that might have been a marketing scheme? Like a way to get a Super League done without the hardcore elite golf people just being like, screw this, man. That's the Middle East.
Everybody was already doing that anyway.
I know,
Screw
but
the Saudis because of what they do and human rights and how they treat, how they feel about the community. And
I think that at the end of the day, it just has to do with money, right? That's all it had to do with was some money.
it's got to be money. They had to have sit down because that, what's his name?
I thought they said that
fucking-
Live Tour was actually thinking about, or Live was actually thinking about purchasing PGA all along.
Everything
trying
I'm
to.
reading, and if anybody in the chat room knows better than this or knows what's going on, because I was just picking up on things, and you hear I had to turn the ticket on today to be like, what the fuck's going on? Because I also saw it on Twitter and Instagram. Like, it's the PGA is merging into the
Super
Live
League.
Tour.
Yeah. They're going to.
And so it's like the Live Tour is taking over, but they're still going to use the PGA name. And like, apparently all the courses around here where the tour comes through, Colonial, wherever they play the Nelson, whatever course that is, they're all freaking out. Like, what does this mean for us? Are you still going to come through? Is it still going to be here?
I don't know.
What's happening? And now you've got players pissed off because they're like, what the fuck? You sucked this in. I turned down $100 million payday to go over the Live Tour to be loyal to the PGA, and now you're becoming the Live Tour?
Oh, man. What a mess.
There's a ton of players that are pissed
Yeah.
off. Like the tweets that are coming out of here.
Like it was almost could be like retribution from the PGA for all their golfers. It's like, I don't know. It's pretty shocking.
It's the weirdest thing ever. And did you know that?
Did you watch the memorial this weekend?
I did not. I didn't watch much TV.
It must have come down pretty surprisingly because they didn't mention anything about Live hardly.
It all just came down like today.
Yeah.
And like I said, none of the players.
Pretty tight-lipped.
For everything I've read, none of the players knew about it. So I was trying to find that tweet and who it was that said it, but basically the tweet was like, "Okay, PGA Tour, you can go fuck yourself."
One of the golfers said
One
that?
of the golfers said that, and I was like, God.
So it sounds like they're trying to do and generate the same amount of money as F1 all over the world is kind of what we're trying to shoot after, it sounds like. Make it a more premier where there's only about 20 tournaments. How many tournaments are there anyway in the PGA Tour per year? Does anyone know that in the chat room?
35, 36.
So I wonder if they're going to cut it down to like 18, 16 tournaments and then make it more exclusive to where it's only played in, renowned courses around the world rather than rather than so many in the U.S. and in the UK.
Oh, the average PGA player will usually participate in 20 to 30 tournaments a season. There's 48 official events. 45 regular season and 3 playoff events on the PGA Tour.
What about the guys that have PGA cards and that's how they make business, is giving like lessons and stuff and
Dude, that
teaching
whole
classes
I know
and
people that went for their cards.
Yeah.
Like,
so does that mean
built
they're
their way
working for
up.
Live now?
We're going to the FedEx and all that. That the DP League, which is the European PGA Tour that's under the major.
Not the Drowning Pool League?
No. They are also going into this whole Live deal. They're
Yeah.
being sucked up. So I don't know what happens with the FedEx Tour, if that's still a thing. Because I know a couple of people that played on the FedEx.
Yeah.
Working to get their cards. It's weird. This
It's
whole
very
thing's
weird,
weird,
yeah.
but it's funny
It's
going
funny,
and looking at these.
The shock.
The players, like what they're saying in
Yeah.
Twitter, and if you can pull them up while they're still up, I'm trying to find that one and who
I
said
was
it. but
pissed. Probably a Texas
totally
dude.
fucking pissed. Probably. Fuck your Saudi.
Dude, those
oil
guys are
shit.
ragers. I bet you they're all ragers.
I got to hear some crazy
That dude-
stories from Bahrain from my cousin there 2 weeks ago at Aiden's party, and how Bahrain is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah. He's like, it's Vegas in the desert, man. He's like, it's crazy. He's like, we did a bunch of crazy stuff, and he's like, it was on Sunday. We were watching the Formula One races. We were getting Aiden's party ready, and he's like, yeah, this is right down the street from where I was based. I couldn't go that day because I was on watch. He's like, but the rest of the guys all went to the F1 race and just got to walk on in and do whatever they wanted. And it's like,
Fuck.
but this is supposed to what they're supposed to do is kill all the legal issues they've had between the two. Like they had a bunch of lawsuits against each other, and I guess the Live Tour wanted more TV coverage and all that. But it's got to be money. It's got to be, or a threat of,
You think Mickelson's a good dude? Man boob himself.
I don't know. I think he'd be fun to hang out with.
Just because he'd probably get.
He's probably fun to party with, but he may. I don't know.
I used to respect him a lot more than I do now, and I don't know why. It just seems like he's like.
I think he's one of those guys that thinks he's too good or too professional or he's at an elite level.
Yeah.
And he's too good for all this around him when he's playing.
Yeah.
And maybe he carries that around like he's Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. But
well, if
you get him away
awesome.
from everything, he's partying
pretty
cool and fun. It's the same thing with Max Verstappen. Okay, if we go back to Formula One, relate this to Formula One. The guy's good at what he does. He's a badass. He's on top of the world. He eats and shits Formula One. He's been racing since he's 4 years old.
He's a big sim racer too.
Huge sim racer, but he's been racing since he was 4, and his
Yeah.
mom and dad were both racers. So he's done this inside and out, and that's why I think he's going to back out here soon and be like, I'm bored with this.
He very well could, because he actually, if you read his backstory, he sounds like a pretty lonely kid. I know he wasn't, because he was always at the track going back from Brussels to what's the city or the country that he's from, or that he represents.
Deutschland
Or
The
Dutch. Netherlands. So, but his parents got divorced at an early age, and that's all he had was race car driving.
Yeah.
And so he's really kind of like
He bounced back and forth to their races.
yeah, and he's also like he's always hung out with race car drivers, and that's all he's known to probably get him through a lot of pain as a kid. This is projecting a ton, but like that's the thing that's really cool about F1 that people don't understand. There's a lot of good stories that are behind the F1. Like I guess that a lot of people know now because of the series, but it's not like Verstappen's this rich kid that just had an easy life that was just like stumbled into race car driving.
Yeah.
This guy's worked his ass off.
His dad wasn't a Russian oligarch that got him into the
No.
took over
You
teams.
think that guy's ever Mazparan or whatever?
No.
You think he's ever coming back?
Not after what he said.
He was like, good.
What he said was not cool.
I forgot what it was. It was something
It
about
was right when Russia and Ukraine went to war, and they said they were going to the race in Russia at Sochi was going to be canceled for that year. And he tweeted, "I don't understand why the race is being canceled. no one in Russia is dying. So
Yeah, stokes the flames a little bit.
but like when you have someone that just eats, drinks, and is super serious, plus he's Dutch. I mean, we all know how the Dutch people are. They're very
Yeah, they're like Germans. They're
they're
real.
very cold and dry and
Yeah.
straight on. I mean, that's just the way he is. So that's the way I see kind of Phil Mickelson being too, is like being very serious on the course.
He seems like he's more interested in making good business deals right now than playing good golf, and that's what bugs me.
He's in his sunset. It's over.
It is. You're right.
He needs to make
is.
his last few checks, and his deal
Why
he
didn't he
made
just
with
join
Liv,
the senior league then?
and he had a fuck ton of debt from gambling. That he had to
Oh, is
pay
he
off.
a gambler, huh?
Yeah, he had like
One of the Michael Jordan types.
I remember hearing like his live tour when they offered him whatever $200 million to come over there and play. Like half of that was going to his gambling debt.
Golly, man, must be nice, dude.
Just throw that around.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting. And did you know that the WWE has merged with UFC?
Oh,
That happened last month. Where the fuck was all that talk?
well, what are they doing? Like just doing combined events, or
I have no idea. But they're all falling under. As I was reading, there were like 4 different articles about this live tour, and they're like, this is the second merger in the past couple of months that has shocked the sports world. And they always say, WWE is merged with UFC.
you want to hear my hot sports opinion before we get into another topic, which it looks like we got more sports to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
We can just stay on it. So the A's, where have they decided where they're going to go?
Hold
The
on.
Oakland A's.
UFC, yeah, they've got their stadium approved in Vegas.
They missed the boat. They
Uf-
should have gone to the Austin A's.
That would have been awesome. UFC WWE merger is worth now 21. The organization will be worth 21.4 billion.
Wonder who has the larger share. Dana or what's his face?
I wouldn't even know because they're both giants in
You
their
think
own
both
right.
those guys are going, fuck, dude, I hope there's no #MeToo shit that comes out.
What's his name?
The
what's it,
WWE
Vince
guy,
McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Has he
He's
got some?
all sorts of shit.
He
under his
looks like the
belt.
type that would.
I think he was banging half the females that run around the ring.
He
and
looks
stuff.
like the type of guy that'll be walking down a windy street and accidentally catch a boner out of nowhere and just start dry humping a Mineral Wells old abandoned building.
Okay, so if it's worth 21B, WWE was worth 9.3B. So that means UFC was worth more.
That's insane. That kind of money, man. We can't fathom it. It's not possible.
Holy shit.
What's
Hold
wrong?
on.
Timeout?
Hold on.
Timeout? You need to call a timeout on the field. Disconnect.
You can take over for just a second. Just rant about something.
Yeah. So, what was I talking? Oh, yeah. The horniness of those guys.
Extreme.
Like you're just hanging out with a bunch of blood-filled dongs all over the place, and then
Well, you're all roided up, too.
you got all these attractive women, a lot of cocaine.
They do a lot of... The WWE does a lot of drugs, yeah.
Those guys in the MMA shit, there's a lot of drugs around them too.
But they're tested regularly before and after fights. They're pre-fight.
Well,
They get a bunch of stuff, but
Right, but still,
I guess
just
if you're
around
off the clock, yeah.
right, just
yeah.
around people that aren't scheduled for a fight. Like, are they tested all the time?
From what
Every
I've
single
listened
registered
to a
fighter,
couple
I
of
guess?
those
Rogan fight ones?
the fight shows, and he was talking to like Joey Diaz or something like that, and they were talking about how much they're tested leading up to a fight, and it's a lot. And then
Yeah.
right after a fight, everything's tested.
What if you started a mixed martial arts league where you use steroids and meth? Like that was encouraged
Like
for a
bum
fighter
fights.
to be like bum fights, yeah.
Yeah,
Except
illegal
not in
bum
the middle of the
fights.
street with.
Or what if you start a match and there's a big mound of cocaine in the middle of the ring,
Oh man!
and each fighter runs in there?
Just dives into
You get a
it.
choice. You can either start fighting immediately, or you can dive in and get powered up and then fight. Like that's
All of
your
a sudden
that's your
Dillinger
power
plays.
up place.
You're just freaking. Oh, I gotta get it this time. It's like a power. It's like a power. Like so you know how when Miss Pac-Man and Mr. Pac-Man are going around, they get that big old dot. That's what it's like. Just full on rage boner.
Like they've been sticking it in a mountain.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't.
you gotta stick it up my ass.
in your ass.
Make sure. I forgot what it was. Man,
I don't remember. Where are we at?
you gotta use the
Yeah.
use the
Fuck.
what was it? Use the
Fuck.
fuck.
Shit. Apparently, my dog decided to jump through a window in the front living room
What?
and busted it out. I'm just making sure she's okay and not bleeding and everything's all right. But I guess she was after something and she shattered the front window in the front living room and decided to go after something.
See, she went into cocaine mode.
She heard
Do you need
about
to-
it.
So you haven't heard if you need to stop.
She
the
probably
show
saw a rabbit. No, everything looks like it's okay. The mess I'm getting, everything's okay. I just need to check on it.
Yet? I gotta
when we get done.
freaking board off our windows, man, because that sounds like some shenanigans. Oh,
I think I should just board up
floppy
the
ears
house.
would do. That's
Like,
always a good idea.
Genghis Tron. All right. So the other thing that, besides what you brought in, which we'll get into in a minute, did you hear about this Cessna accident?
Sure did. Boy, that was. I didn't find out about it till late at night. I almost woke up the house and said, "Hey,
The Payne Stewart thing, like, what?
well, I thought it was another attack."
Oh, you thought it was?
Yeah, because all I saw was the headline come across one of like Reddit News or something, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I turned it on Fox News Stories to see what the hell was going on, and then I found out it was another Stuart Payne or Payne Stewart or Stuart
Payne Stewart.
Payne Stewart type situation.
That
So
creeps
creepy.
me out so much. Okay, so this was a 560, so it's a jet. It's not a regular Cessna with props.
That's
So it's
that's
up
what I was
high.
thinking.
Well, a
When I
prop
saw
one,
Cessna, I was like, "What?"
you're not high enough to need oxygen. What's going on? But scrambling F-16s, it was flying to New York, and then what they think happened is the autopilot kicked in and started.
Looking for an airport to get to and stuff.
Well,
or-
it just rerouted it back somewhere that was going across the country, but it was flying over restricted airspace over the capital, and they scrambled F-16s, which broke the sound barrier, and
did
everybody's
all four of
freaking
the
out about
F-16s
that.
break the sound barrier? Be crazy.
They,
Sunday
like,
afternoon.
all this footage of them, boom, 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 all over, DC is pretty wild because they've got footage on everything and them shaking water and
Yeah.
breaking windows and stuff. It's kind of badass. I mean, come on.
I know, dude.
can't- This is a pilot's wet dream.
Oh, yeah.
This is an Air Force pilot's wet dream where we're going to spoil it up and we're going to take off.
You think Chiggy was like, whoa.
No,
You don't think their government was like, dude.
they're probably like, they're just F-16s. No big deal.
Yeah, but then,
Gen 4 fighters.
yeah.
We're past these F-16s.
But then we would say, we're past anything you have on your lot, buddy,
I don't
with
know.
the Raptors.
Raptor's not that great.
I thought that was the one that could
Oh,
control
no,
the
F-22.
airspace.
No, the F-22 is right. No,
Is
I
that the
was thinking of
Raptor?
yeah, I was thinking of the F-35.
What's the
F-35
F-18 then?
Hornet.
I don't know. Man,
China's 5th gen's pretty badass,
Dude.
though.
Yeah, but the fear factory about China, like, it is worth something to pay attention to. But honestly, our men and women have been fighting wars for 50 years now. We're pretty war torn. What's gonna happen? They haven't been in shit in 100. What's gonna happen when they start seeing their friends just pink mist all over the place? There could be a lot of let's go.
That's weird. The name of their 5th gen, I knew it was something 20. It's the J-20, the Chingju.
Whoa. I don't think you can say that on radio, man.
I'm reading it. Chengdu.
Broadcasting's not allowed.
Chengdu
That's not
J20,
allowed.
also known as the Mighty Dragon.
Just think. We used to name our program years after what they named their years after.
Yeah,
It was when the communists got in control. We just like that. Man, the people of China are so awesome too. That's what drives me nuts. It's like, dude, that country has just been completely hijacked again by communists.
Do you like Learjets?
I'm like you. This makes me paranoid, and this is something that I always think about. I always think about that.
I don't like them. I don't
especially in the pilot, the cockpit.
I don't like feeling. I don't like being in a little tiny tube like that. I don't like, how, not the nice rich ass ones, but like the ones we would be riding on. You feel like you're riding like this the whole time.
Yeah,
like you're just kind of crooked.
Your pilot
kind
of smells like whiskey.
Like your body has to be contorted to the side of the tube. There's no bathroom.
No, man.
Some of them have them, but I've been on a couple that don't.
That's why when bands get real good jets, they freak out all the time. They're like,
"Thank you."
This.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just Learjets freak me out.
All right, Learjet or helicopter if you're a rocker, and you need to take a quick trip from Austin to DFW.
I would do what my buddy did from Amarillo to Fort Worth.
Airwolf?
Flew in a helicopter about 300 feet off the ground, if not lower, just buzzing trees flying down here. That would be a blast.
What if someone accidentally shot a AR up in the sky, though, right when you went by? Like,
could have. I mean, highly illegal, but they could have. Highly illegal.
Well, they didn't know y'all were hauling ass. They were just sitting there like, what the hell? What the hell? Accidentally pulls the trigger.
I would fly I don't want to fly a Learjet. I'd fly a regular Cessna. I love regular Cessnas. I love little the turboprop, but I don't know about where you're up high enough. You need oxygen, and one of those damn little seals that nobody checks breaks.
Have you ever listened to what they say? Ever? Like your first flight, I don't even think I listened to a word that they said about if the
I do every once in a while.
I never do. I probably should, because there's a lot of times they're like,
depends on
sir,
what they look
are
like.
You prepared to open the door in the case of emergency? I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's a very sexist thing, but it depends on what they look like.
Remember that's Southwest guy that got us drunk, the gay Southwest pilot that got us drunk?
He was hot.
He was hot, and he was hot-handed.
Cool. He gave us all sorts of drinks. And then, like, if there's a cute flight attendant, I want to see what she sounds like. I'll watch.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
So I flew on Spirit on the way back from Arizona.
Jesus Christ, you don't like your life, do you?
Bad. I was pleasantly surprised. That is not the same Spirit I used to fly to New Orleans back in the aughts.
Their record's still not that good.
Well, let's just put it this way. It was way cleaner than I remember. It looks like they reupholstered every single jet they've got. They hired actual talent.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was like, whoa. Ma'am, are you my stewardess? I am. Can I voy? Get off the plane.
If you had your own private plane, would you
I don't know.
Stewardesses on them?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, they'd be fully clothed. They'd wear nun-out suits.
Oh, they would?
Yeah. They'd wear Eskimo outfits.
Who's Wallet Hub?
Here's
Here's a look at the airlines.
I'd be like John Madden if I was colloded and just be like, dude, I'm just going to take the bus.
Is RoboTuner still in here in the chat room? These are the rankings of U.S. airlines, ranked worst to first.
Spirit on the bottom, or is it Southwest?
Number 11, Southwest Airlines.
Ooh, I hate to miss that one, buddy.
Number 10, American Airlines. Ooh.
I can vouch for that. They've been fucking suck ass.
Number 9,
last few times I've flown American.
JetBlue. JetBlue used to be good.
So did American.
Number 8,
like 30 years ago.
Number 7, United.
My United flight to Hawaii was cool. I loved it.
Is that who I flew to Hawaii? It was pretty nice. Whoever I flew to Hawaii. 6 was SkyWest.
Is Virgin going to be number 1?
5 is Spirit.
Told you, man. They've upgraded.
4 is Envoy Air, who is owned by
Oh,
American.
I bet
so
I
it's
know
American
number
Eagle.
1.
Number 3, Alaska.
Bam, 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 bam.
Number 2, Hawaiian Airlines.
Number 1.
Delta.
Wow.
Which I used to stay away from Delta, but
I was
last
gonna
few
say
times I've
Emirates.
flown on Delta, Delta's been great. They're not U.S. based.
Oh, that's right. See, I failed before the test was even over.
Yeah, they're not U.S. based. So,
I haven't flown Delta probably. Did we fly Delta? No, we took Matt's benefits to
New York, we flew Delta to Nam, or I flew Delta to Nam. I went solo,
I
so
think
yeah, I flew
maybe-
Delta to
maybe
Nam.
that might have been. I
Where
might
else
have flown
did I- and
Delta
I've-
too.
I know I've flown Delta one leg to New York. And
Did
I
you flew to X
Delta
though, right?
I flew into LAX, yeah.
I
And then
flew
I
into
flew
John
Delta
Wayne.
to Orlando. I don't have a problem. The new Delta stuff is nice. It's been cool. My Flight 191 thing in my head that has stuck in my head. This is why I won't fly Delta. Is now gone.
Except now you just reminded yourself about it. Next time you get
Nah.
on one,
No, because now I'm older and I'm smarter. I'm like the chances of being in an airplane disaster is very
you going to Nam
minimum.
in January?
There's talks of it. The chat is started.
There's a little rumblings going on.
We'll see. I may go to California and never come back. Why?
Because Cypress Hill.
Because I'm free as a
Be
bird
real.
now. And this bird, you cannot change.
You're gonna be like on the Forrest Gump when she's up there all coked up, hanging on to the.
And this bird,
And you're all, you got that nice little white outfit on. All your buddies are passed out. And you're like, and this bird you cannot change.
Yeah, that's. So, you brought this story, and I don't even know where to go with this. If this is real, this is the craziest thing ever. The headline on its own is perfect. Scantily clad witches caught munching on a deer carcass in bizarre security cam footage.
And they really used munching in the title.
Munching. Social media users speculated carcass eating ritual was either a prank or satanic ritual.
I don't know. There's a lot of fishy stuff in this report. Like, I mean, it could be real because this is America and we're fucking like we're mentally ill enough to where we would have some people going out and eat deer carcass.
So there's pictures.
But there's some things that are weird about the story too, like a foot.
I don't see this foot. I haven't seen the foot.
The one
in the
with the
picture.
foot. The boot.
But that's the guy in the background, right?
Who? There's
a girl and a guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
in this
saying.
photo.
That's why I'm thinking maybe this could be some art shit or some cinematography or art like students of movie. You know, there is a strike.
That's true. Yeah, they're trying to come up with
They're
something.
cutting budget. Like, yeah, they got to come up with something.
It's the new Blair Witch or something. This lady says she came across a deer carcass in her garden on her property, and she decided to set up a trail cam to survey any animals that might take interest in the dead deer. Something like her and her dad did in the past.
Chewbacca.
And
might be seen.
at one time they got a bobcat on the trail cam and all this. So when she went to check the footage like the next day of setting this up or whenever, she said she came across what appeared to be a scantily clad woman chomping down on the deer carcass at night. And I came the next day, and Grandpa said he got. This is like the way this is weirded is weird,
isn't it?
I came the next day, and Grandpa said he'd got naked people on the camera, and I said, "No, you didn't. Bullshit." So he showed me,
and there was naked people,
and there are naked people. It says Stanhope noted that to the outlet that the apparent carcass eaters emerged about 10 minutes after sunset, looking disheveled and like they were wearing wigs. You can't really tell from the photos, but the hoof was brought right up to her mouth. She said, I don't know if she was kissing it, smelling it, or eating it. But to touch a decaying carcass like that makes me feel sick. The amount of bacteria that must have been on there, blah, 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 blah.
Probably some maggots involved.
It's all speculation, and it's protein.
If you can
Anyway,
keep
she
it
got
down.
creeped out that there were naked people in her backyard eating on a deer. And
They
but-
didn't call the why didn't they didn't get the authorities involved is the weird thing.
does
They
it?
decided not to because they thought, what are they going to do about it? They hadn't really broke the law. And it's-
Others have theorized that the figures are skinwalkers.
Yeah, I
or
like that one.
Wendigos, both of which are supernatural entities associated with Native American folklore.
I've seen the same thing right out of Lola's late at night in Fort Worth.
Except they
It
eat
wasn't
on like
skinwalkers either.
they're eating on
Brownies. Well, what do they think is brownies on the side of the
McDonald's.
road? Yeah.
In and Out, Jack in the Box. Just
I've seen them at a Southern Train Gypsy show.
the pictures of this are very weird. Like this lady is just like it's like she's wearing a Native American like belt thing with a piece going down and covering her bum, but she's topless.
So it could be some weird guy that has taken some women over because they said that they seemed disheveled and kind of staggering around. He could have some girls on drugs, and it could be a very dangerous, evil situation.
Might be a crackhead.
Could be a crackhead. Could be some bad experiences with some hallucinogenics that have gone completely awry, and they forgot the belt buckle rule. I would say it's not the likeliest that they were. It was a devil worshipping seance or whatever they tried ritual.
Yeah.
And the skin crawler, man, that's probably not that likely. Chupacabra,
Maybe.
not that likely.
We didn't see any.
Chupacabra might have killed the deer, but
what are the ones in the Appalachian Mountains? I forget what they're called. They whisper your name.
sirens.
No, and they try to lure you in. They whisper your name, or they make help, help, and the next thing you know,
They're getting
you get killed. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the hills of West Virginia I wouldn't want to come face to face with.
Yeah.
The Wonderful Whites.
Oh man, I forgot about that show.
Come across.
I wonder if that's
them.
on streaming on anything. What's
Oh,
weird is we have a tie to that. In a way, we got like a.
it's a very weird way. Yeah.
It's weird how there's 7. The Kevin Bacon.
The 7 degrees separation or 6 degrees separation or whatever.
I feel like our podcast show has that a lot. Like there's a lot of weird freaking random ass ties. And then sometimes there's things we don't even know about that sneak under the radar, like we discovered today.
That have been going since 2010 or 2014 or whatever. We're like, what? How have...
Or then you have, but then we'll tell everybody, dude, Van Damme, that's a fucking badass band. You got to go see them, right? But then we'll miss on some kid that's out hanging out at the stadium by you that's a rapper that's friends with Zeke that ends up becoming a national or a worldwide like rock star.
Did you see all the footage of him in his hardcore band?
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a bunch. They were talking about that, how he used to front, I forgot what they're called, Abigail Sleeping or something like that.
Was
his hardcore band, and it was...
Are they King Diamond cover band?
They weren't a King Diamond cover band. They weren't, no.
That'd be a lot cooler if they were.
No. Another thing that happened today, like 30 minutes before we started our show. Let me ask you this. Where do we sit with Tucker Carlson? Where do you sit with Tucker Carlson?
Well, I've never met the man. I would say that he's genius because he knows how to get people all fired up and like.
My opinion's kind
of
of
changed
changed
on him, but I don't fucking love him.
I don't like him.
Yeah, he's funny at times.
That's the way I am. It's funny listening to him go off on stuff and the way he connects dots and stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of gained a little more respect for him in a weird way
after the Fox
when the
thing went.
voicemails came out, and he's like,
Fuck
Fox
this guy.
is making us do this. Oh, fuck Trump. I don't like Trump.
Yeah.
But I got to report on this or whatever. La 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 la.
So this Twitter thing's happening.
It happened today. His first episode came out today,
and it was.
And it's like
was it
5 or
planned?
10 minutes long.
Like was there people saying, "Hey, listen up," or did it just happen?
all I started seeing was it started popping up everywhere on Twitter, right before we started the show, right before you got here.
Man,
it went bam, 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 bam. So I had it playing as I was kind of working on things, and it's like under 10 minutes.
Oh, he did it real quick. Hey guys,
It's
let me promote.
wild as fuck because he's attacking the media and what's being spoon fed to you, and
He's gonna get.
there's someone put together a bullet point list of what he covered. You ready for this?
Let's hear
And
it.
I'm talking about 10 minutes. Like
he.
Yeah, that's a 10 minutes.
It's an intense show, huh?
Yeah. So Lindsey Graham's obsession with war and death, Ukraine blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, what happened to all the money we sent to Ukraine, Ukraine attacking a dam on the Black Sea.
Yeah, that happened today or yesterday.
Yesterday. Who and how that's going to lead to a nuclear meltdown. We're going to have a nuclear meltdown in Eastern Europe, so that'll be fun. Who organized the BLM riots? What happened on 9/11? How did Epstein die? How did Epstein have so much money? What happened to JFK?
This is in 10 minutes.
The U.S. government's knowledge of UFOs, alien species flying aircraft at supersonic speeds above our country, and the U.S. classifying billions of documents. In 10 minutes, all that, like he just flew through.
He had to have some coffee.
Or, like we've been talking about the whole show,
Mound of cocaine.
He's a UFC fighter, ran to the middle of the ring,
Just snorted it.
as much as he
Like,
could, and then
it's
like,
go time.
I'm doing a TV show. Let's go. He's sitting in some cabin. It's pretty funny because I was like, I just want to see, like what this is. It's called Tucker on Twitter, and this is what he's gonna do is do his show on whatever. Oh, here it is. 10 minutes 25 seconds. How long it is, and he covered all that.
Do you think he's like he's thought this through enough to where he's like, I need extra security around me 24/7, my house and everything?
Probably so. He probably has someone. He probably has personal bodyguards and stuff.
He's got to, man. That's
we're about
crazy.
to get a voicemails what the chat room's getting. But yeah, it was like when it started popping up, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Oh no. But like I said, after hearing those voicemails and everything and the messages going back and forth and documents that were leaked about him, how much he hated everything he had to report on, and how Fox was forcing him to take these stances, I was kind of like, okay, that's cool.
I believe it.
It kind of sucks that he felt that he had to do that in order to make a paycheck. And I like all this stuff that's coming out that Fox is owned by Democrats. It makes me laugh.
So what do you to touch on something real quick? You mentioned this thing that happened today, or that got reported hardcore today.
The Live Tour?
No, the story about the dam. Man, this is sounding a lot like the Nordstrom thing too, man. It's like, dude, what what is going on
it's
here?
It's funny on his thing. He talks about, he's like, everybody's saying that it's Putin.
It doesn't make sense.
And it could be Putin, because Putin's the type of person that would self-sabotage all him stuff, or he said something like would shoot himself, a million times.
He doesn't need to, though, I don't think.
But it looks like all the signs are pointing to Ukraine, and it could cause massive problems.
Did you see that video that they put out of all the soldiers out in the woods going, shh?
Yeah. Like,
what are you doing? Like, what is happening?
Did you see the awesome video of a Ukrainian
stripper
vehicle that's a building?
Deja vu?
No, that's a building. And it's cruising through this cornfield. They built a building like around a tank.
What?
And it's sitting on top of a tank. And
that's what they're doing with our tanks.
So they can park, and no one will know that they're in it.
And then just blast?
But they get up and they haul ass, and they're in this cornfield, and it looks like something out of like
Red
Benny
Dawn.
Hill, because it's just this building hauling ass across. What the fuck?
Is it one of our tanks?
I don't know what kind of tank it is.
I think someone explained it to him wrong.
But they built a building around it, so it looks like one of the houses there in Ukraine. It's funny as shit. It was so awesome. Just
what is happening? Like, at some
sleepy.
point, do you think that this crossed my mind? Does the media
Georgia?
Does the media and our executive
Fort
branch
Worth.
of government, the presidential staff and the president, do they think that we did not see Wag the Dog? I'm just saying.
I mean, box office receipts make it look like no one watched Wag the Dog. So
every single time something comes out down the line about having to do with the sun, whether it be the laptop, whether it be some kind of Ponzi scheme, I don't know, whatever the Fox News stores are saying is about to happen. Every time a politician comes out and says, "Well, we're calling in the FBI because we think the FBI da 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 whatever," and we got on pretty good. We got an idea that the FBI might have done some bad shit. All of a sudden, we have something crazy like the Nordstrom come up, and then now this.
And that's come out as being a joint effort between the U.S. and Ukraine. That has come out, and it's been 100% true that it was a joint effort between the U.S. and Ukraine
that
to
we
take
actually
out the Nord
knew
Stream
about
pipeline.
it. That we knew about it, and they did it.
We helped
right?
them outdo it.
We probably gave them the explosive, the black cats.
I think we took them out there
Some
in one of our
M80s?
boats and said, "Here, jump down in here and do this."
I don't
So,
know, man. It just seems very coincidental. Coincidental?
I don't think that's a word. No, I think we can be in agreement that that's not a word.
That was good right there.
Watch the thing I just sent you.
Right now? Is this the video? Where'd you send it to? My phone?
Yeah.
All right. This is the traveling. Oh wait, did you not get this? Hang on. Why is it not going to it? I got the stupid text that I sent about the crazy ass dream I had about Jeff and his wife.
Oh no, you sent that
And
to
Rip.
me. To me.
And this was sent to you. Just sent that to Jeremy
You
and I, right?
Jeremy.
Okay,
Yeah,
hang on.
I sent that to
Let
you
me
and
delete
Jeremy.
this shit.
Because you need to see the
Intermarine.
Yeah, just watch that video real quick.
Russia losing.
Let me look
I
at-
already saw a little bit.
It-
It's
awesome. It's awesome.
Come on, guys.
That's
Well,
not
let's
me.
go.
I go in here. All right.
I can't get it to load. I'll check it out though
You
for
have to
sure.
check it out. It's freaking awesome.
Oh, here we go.
It's not the same music, but
Is this Waking Alice?
maybe. As the building's just cruising through a cornfield. It's freaking awesome.
What is happening?
It's
What
the
the fuck is going on,
funniest
man?
fucking- I want to put it in the chat or up on the screen, but everything's disconnected right now to do that. It's so
What is that?
awesome.
Are we in a matrix or are we out of a matrix? Like, did we get included in something or did we not get included on
No,
something?
CERN has been fired up a few times, and the
And it's
world
just making
is
us
just
nuts?
Going, and we're in different parallel worlds. Another thing I want to get into that's nuts is technology, and I haven't watched an
Technology.
Apple keynote in forever. I watched the one yesterday where they put these AR goggles in there, but computers are getting way out of control. They're getting way too powerful. Like the stats they were spitting out, it's like, what the fuck? What are you gonna do with this? What I don't need to. I don't need to render ProRes render 24 4K streams at once.
I feel like I
I
just
have
did that
no reason to
in
do that.
your house. And this is going over the line of what I just did in the house?
That what
like
they're doing,
technology-wise?
yeah. I don't need a machine that's that powerful yet. Maybe I don't know. But then they released their little goggles, their little augmented reality goggles. But on Sunday, my son got his new Valve Index VR headset, and I had you test it out before we started the show. And your rating and report, sir.
My report is I was kind of speechless as we were walking out to the damn shed. I was like, what the heck just happened to me?
That
I can answer you right now. No stacking when I do that.
Oh no! So he had a Quest before, and we played all sorts of games on the Quest, and they have a Star Wars game on the Quest.
Was
where
that
you fight Darth
Oculus or?
Vader. It was an Oculus, and then Meta, Facebook bought Oculus, and it became Quest.
I think the last time I looked through AR goggles was the second generation of Oculus. I think was the last time I did it.
Yeah.
And it was like you went on a stupid roller coaster and stuff, and you were on a swing, you're on a beach, and then the PlayStation did the shark cage and stuff.
Oh yeah, I
And
forgot about that.
Aaron that owns the bar up the street, he had that, and that was pretty cool. But it was still like but it wasn't like that. It wasn't picking up dead bodies and playing with their TTs.
So he got the Valve Index, and what comes with it is Half-Life. Half-Life is one of my favorite games of all time. That whole series, I loved it. Changed gaming for me.
It's good beer too.
It is a good beer. I love that whole storyline. Well, there's a new chapter or part of Half-Life called Half-Life Alyx that comes with this Rift or the Index, Valve Index, and so my son got it on Sunday. He installed it, and he kept walking back and forth and being like, I'm installing it right now. Okay. He's like, oh my God, it's going to take forever, and it's got to set up. So he's like, well, I'm setting it up now. This thing came in a box that was like a giant suitcase with all this crap in it. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff for it. So he had to set all it up. And finally, like 2 hours later, he's like, all right, I got it all set up. I think it's going to work. And he goes to his room, and all I hear is, oh my God. And I was like, what? And he goes, he's in there for a couple more minutes, and he comes running there, and he's like, you got to see this. And I was like, what? He goes, just come here. And I went in there, and he's like, all right, you got to put these on. And the thing he kept telling me was like, you have full finger control. So
that was
like
weird.
If you played with the controller knows where your fingers are. And his old one didn't do that. So now when you have a gun, you can run around with your finger being, your booger picker being in the safety position instead of being on it. And you can do all sorts of little things now, which is crazy. So I'm putting them on, and he's like, all right. And he puts the helmet on me and everything, the glasses, and the sound is amazing, but you can still hear what's going on in the room with you. So that was really cool. And so he's telling me, look at your hands. We're in some demo screen. He's like, look at your hands, and play with them. I was like, man, this is really cool how this works. I can move all my fingers. And then I was like picking things up and throwing them around like you do in anything. But like I picked up a Coke can, I could crush it in my hand because I had control of all my fingers. I was like, this is neat. I like this. Valve is a great company. They make, they spend a lot of time with their games and put in a lot of crazy detail, as you saw with the porta potties. But then he's like, all right, here we go. And he hit like he did with you, hit the unpause here and resume. And then the whole world opens in front of you like, oh my God. Where am I?
Like
What's
all of a
going
sudden I'm
on?
Walking Dead.
How realistic is this? VR's always been a little cheesy. And finally, for the first time in my life, I'm like,
it's not novelty.
Here we are. This is badass.
Yeah.
This is fucking cool. And so I jack around a little bit. I'm picking things up. I'm throwing around. There's this pigeon flying around. I picked up a beer bottle that was sitting there, and I chunked at the pigeon, and it hit it. The pigeon got all pissed off. Feathers went everywhere, and it flew off.
Did you kill it?
No, I didn't. It was beginning of the game, so he had no weapons or anything. And so then I'm like walking over to the edge of this railing, kind of like I told you to do with the barbed wire, except we're like 5 stories in the air. And I'm holding onto the railing and pushing my head over, going, whoa, this is weird. And there's people walking below and ships flying everywhere and stuff. And I was like, this is freaking cool, man. And I just kind of jacked around for a little bit and then gave it back to him so he could play his game. But I was like, oh my God, this is cool as hell. And then, a few hours go by, or about an hour goes by, and he comes in and he's like, this is just crazy. And he's telling me all sorts of stuff from the Half-Life world. And he's like, you need to come see this. So I went back in there and put it on. And a lot of the old enemies and characters, like the Striders and stuff in Half-Life, now that you're in VR, you're like, oh my God, these things are huge and what all they're doing. And
you think there's going to be a lot of games that are re-released now that we have this technology in the next few years?
Probably. So my excitement is, as I start looking through things that's on, because it works through Steam, and I'm like, okay, what can we do with this? What are the big titles coming in through Steam over the next few weeks? And then I see that next week is Formula One, F1 23, and I'm like, shit.
This is a problem now.
This is a problem. And I'm like, so am I going to have to buy 2 copies of this? Because I want to see this in VR.
He's running that through a CPU.
VR. He runs it through a desktop computer.
So he does?
Yeah, it's an Alienware computer that he's had for about a year.
So you're thinking you might end up having to buy a whole system to set up for you to play some F1 stores.
I don't need
Sounds
anything
awesome.
to be. I don't need it to be crazy like his. Like he's got all sorts of trackers and all sorts of stuff. You know, you didn't have to go this far, but there are things you can put on your body that will track you better.
Yeah.
So you can elbow people and kick them and stuff. And there are these little modules you put on. Playing Formula One, I'm going to sit down, and I just need my hands to be here, and I need to be able to shift, and I want to be able to look around in the car as I'm cruising around the track doing things, you know? So I was looking to see his old...
You start training for Canada now.
I can be there in 2 weeks. But I was looking at his Quest, and I was like, okay, can I hook this up to my Mac? And will it work? And Steam is on Mac because I have it on here. And I was like, will the Quest work? Yeah, it will, but F1 is not going to be on the Mac-based Steam. It's only on the Windows-based Steam. So then I'm like, I got to get a Windows computer? Well,
I don't know. That's going to be pretty tempting. So how much is the whole rig setup that he's using right now?
Counting the computer?
Yeah, all that cost. If I decide I have to have this magic.
So the whole headset, controllers, and trackers is $1,000.
Okay.
And then the PC he's running on was
made for it, kind of.
Was quite a bit. It's an Alienware. I think it's like $2,000 or something like that. It's a badass gaming computer, but it sits in there. And so
I have not played on a computer console gaming probably since Duke Nukem was big.
Yeah.
So, but this might do it. This might do it for sure, especially if I sell some houses here real quick.
What was cool about the Quest was the games were stored in the headset itself. So you don't have to have the computer. It's all built into the headset itself, but it could only hold so many. And he had a badass one that was a bunch of zombies and stuff, and you have to run around.
That's
it's basically
better than
like Call of Duty, but you got to sit there and you got to.
That's better than Sandbox and all those places that I've been to that had it.
That Half-Life is insane.
Yeah.
And I was also looking in there and flight sims on it, and I was like, oh my god! I was like you heard me say, look and see if F1 if there's a demo for it where I can just play for
and watch it
one track. I just want to see what it does for one track. I just want to.
Did you Google it and stuff and see if there is anything available? Or
nah, because we came out here. But this stuff's getting ridiculous. And this one that
insane,
Apple
dude.
released, if you go watch their keynote, it's ridiculous. It's something I wouldn't need or want.
Yeah, it's going to be a toy later on down the line if you have some extra cash.
But it's one of those things like you carry this thing
Just
around.
give me some cash.
You don't have to. You're not connected to a computer. It's its own unit. It's got its own little battery pack that sits in your pocket. It's lightweight, but you can sit back and like their big thing was like, if you're somewhere it's crowded or there's a lot of people, you can just turn it on. It's augmented reality, in which I don't know if the Index is. His old Quest would do augmented reality, but it's like you can see the world around you, but then you can turn the visor and make it all dark and watch your own movie or watch your own TV show
that you're in.
Like,
yeah.
Like
you could do like a
watch,
cinema.
like they were showing like Ted Lasso. You can sit there and
Gotcha.
watch Ted Lasso on your own while sitting on an airplane or in a busy, crazy house.
Be zoned out.
You just zone out and you watch it. And then they showed like this meditation stuff where you could zone out,
Dude.
and all of a sudden you're out in the Yukon.
It's
or
witchcraft
in the woods.
I'm not gonna lie, it's witchcraft.
It is. Playing on his old Quest. When I played on it quite a bit, it does something to you.
It does.
It does something to your brain to where you're like, this new one gets me a little queasy because I'm not used to it.
It did me too. As I started rounding corners quick and figuring out how to move around, that's when it really started hitting. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up. No way could I play it drunk.
No, there's no way. But it's once you get in there and you get used to it for a little bit,
Stacking.
there's no way you can snack in that either. Dude, that would blow your mind. But it's
Okay.
fucking cool as shit. And the way this technology is going is
Dude,
insane.
So you know what blew my mind when we could talk about the Apple one too, because I'd like to know why this one's going to be so badass.
it's just
more
a
than
computer.
what I just did.
It's just an AR computer that sits on your eyes. There is going to
Okay.
be gaming, but it's mainly like you can have I can be talking to you, and at the same time, in the corner of my eye right here will be like the chat room. I can have it right here, floating in the sky. It's fucking it's goggles to make it look like Minority Report.
Yeah, putting your phone into your face and being able to do everything you do on your phone.
But I can see you clearly as I can right now.
Yeah.
While also having that floating there, and you can move the windows in and out. You can have as many windows.
Minority Report.
I can put the show notes right
Future
here.
crimes.
You know, yeah.
So this is what struck me right in between the eyes when I was in there. I was like, I got it. I got why millennials and younger people are all so into this stuff. And the thing is, when I had it on, you know, it freaks you out. You're kind of just looking around, kind of like the first time you go to New York City. You're just kind of, like, and it hit me, dude. You could have friends now that you hang out with virtually that you see every day. You could get close to strangers and be like, all of a sudden become a bro from, you know, some dude from Japan.
He does.
That's just wild to me that you can have an augmented relationship now.
Yeah.
Besides porn and the one-way relationship on that. But this is his actual human interaction. When you play a multiplayer game, you're going to make friends all over the world, or you potentially can. It's like one world is happening before our face.
Well, he does. I mean, it's the same thing as like us logging into Xbox with our headsets on and playing Call of Duty. Like when we used to and stuff. It's the exact same thing, except now you're seeing a created avatar of the person.
So what's going to happen when this gets big and more affordable for everybody to do, which technology generally does? At some point, the price starts coming down. And everybody trains in guns and stuff and ammunition. You're going to have a shooter come out, and then everybody's packing and been training on these augmented realities and just take the guy out immediately.
Well, like his zombie one that he had in the Quest made me uneasy because I was like, all right, I'm picking up a gun. I got to pick up my clips. I got a rifle. I got to pick up my magazines. I got to store them. So these zombies are coming, and I'm shooting. Well, first off, I got to charge it. So I charge it. Then you have to charge it. So,
just like a real gun.
Like a real gun. So I charge it. Bolt blows open. Drop mag. Reach up to your chest. Take a mag. Shove it. And it's got to be. You got to
get it done
precise. While you're holding just two plastic things in your hand, but you got to put the mag in the well and bum. You know, same thing with the pistol. You're sitting there shooting and you reach up, you hit the mag release, it drops.
Yeah, so with what you have seen,
that one was pretty scary. I was like, this is too Call of Duty's, you know, you just hit X or whatever and he reloads on his own. But I'm actually having to cycle the gun.
And you're in your present world.
Yeah, I'm having to reload and cycle the world.
Let me ask you this then. Let's get philosophical about it. So now that you've seen this bit of technology that your son's brought in, and you've hung out in the augmented world, as I just did too, and you think about these shootings, almost said massacre. That'd have been cliche, huh? Or just out of bad taste. Do you think there's going to be more of a problem with kids growing up today on this stuff? Because we're about to have a generation that's going to get born, and they're going to have access to that immediately, right? Do you think that there's going to be blurred line issues that we are going to have some kids that are mentally ill from what you've seen and done in this article we just read about, or the Apple keynote speech that was made today about the technology they're about to utilize?
Uh-huh.
Do you think there's going to be a problem in our youth and people just not even our youth, but everybody, where they're starting to lose a grip on reality completely?
Well, like I've said in the past, yes. I don't think the value of life is not appreciated anymore, and I don't think younger people
just can't help
realize that, you know, you just can't put another quarter in the machine, or you don't have 3 lives, you know, and then the game's over. Like, they don't value that. They don't value life. They don't understand the meaning of taking a life. I think one of the things that, you know, say what you will about hunting, but going hunting as a young person, young kid, you learn that. you are
Yeah.
you are doing something that is ultimate power and ultimate destruction,
You're the apex predator.
and you're taking a life form from this world for good reason. I mean, did we need it to eat? No, but we wanted deer meat and we wanted deer sausage and we wanted, backstrap and all that. So you're hunting and it is sport, but my family, we took care of everything. It's not like we just fuck it, like I'm going out to shoot a hog. Hog's a different story. Their lives don't matter. Hogs' lives don't matter. I want that shirt. Hogs' lives don't matter. And then someone's gonna think it has to do with a cop. But anyway, but it is one of those things.
Yeah, probably.
I learned young was
death is permanent.
It is permanent, and the power that came, and that's one of the things. Like, I had to toy with. I've asked Aiden to go to the range with us, to go shooting, just so that he would know, like, this is what this is, and this is how crazy this is. This isn't, I don't care how many guns I have or how many times I go to the range and shoot. Every time I pull the trigger, it's not a rush.
It's a power trip.
There's a weird feeling there of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Of what you're doing and what you have in your hand and what's going on. And I don't think that's appreciated. And
no
I
way.
don't think...
Not at all.
Like, our generation, maybe the generation below us, there's a lot of kids that were raised to appreciate that. But I think this whole... the whole everyone wins a participation trophy world where their parents are like, hunting's evil and, guns are bad and blah, 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 blah. They're not taught to appreciate this and what that power is.
I think I agree with you, by the way. And I think that much like we have a generation right now that's starting to have some real mental issues, and I believe is for you. We've talked about this 1,000 times on the podcast. The cell phone babies and the tablet babies they got some issues, and that was just from that. And now we're starting to pay the piper for that. Like some of the technology, there's even technology. There's even some Silicon Valley guys that are like, I don't let my kids use any kind of technology, any kind of tablet, any kind of cell phone, any social media, any of that.
Yeah.
And so now this just that what I just experienced today just up that, like, that's like it on steroids. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that happens that I think with this technology, but I also think we're going to pay the piper for this technology.
I don't think there's going to be this isn't a training ground for mass shooters.
No, detachment is what I'm thinking.
The detachment is, yes, but I don't think kids are already detached. COVID's fucked up. I mean
straight up disassociative behavior.
Yeah, but they're already detached from the social world because of how technology how far it's come. But like VR turning someone into a shooter or a mass shooter or something like that, I think that's pretty much a stretch. It's like saying, listening to gangster rap turns you into a gangbanger.
But the thing is, that takes a form of maturity. You have to have some sense of maturity to listen to death metal and know that it's just like a movie, a story. It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Are they? I mean, the guys from Cannibal Corpse aren't raping nurses that are dead.
Yeah, they're not
the corpses of dead nurses and babies.
So, my point is that just the blurred lines. There's more and more blurred lines. Don't you fucking fill in with that stupid Robin Thicke song. If I hear that on the podcast this week, if you go back, I swear, I'll retire again if you do that. And I'll do retirement number 2 if you do that. If I hear, do 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 do.
What is this?
What's that song anyway? I know you want it.
And then that's full of naked chicks.
It's Robin Thicke that we're thinking of, right? The blurred lines guy.
What time is it?
Boy-
We have a ton of voicemail. What was that?
That was a Texas Billiards hit.
No.
All right, you want to listen to the voicemails? Let me go peek. We didn't talk about Formula One, by the way. What'd you think of the race?
Well, we got like
I
3
gotta
things
pee.
we got to hit. Well, listen. I wanted to talk about one other thing with technology is Adobe Photoshop released a beta version of their next gen Photoshop,
I'm,
which I've used Photoshop ever since Photoshop 1. And this is the first time Photoshop has made me go, all right,
this is too much.
this is too much. There's a guy called Mr. Green on Instagram. If you go follow his account, he took, so what they put in there, there's a AI learning tool that will generate, like if I take a picture of you, or I did this over the weekend. I take a picture of a landscape and I decide that it's
But
not,
you're taking a picture of me.
and I decide I want more. I can tell AI to then generate more of it around, and it looks realistic. It's scary. So like you can expand the picture.
Yeah, it was kind of like what we were watching about that new venue is that you can take out round or put round in. When he was talking about when people are going to be performing on stage, it was Bono, right?
But this is like I've taken a picture of that Big Bend.
Right.
And through AI, I can tell it where I'm at, and then I want it to expand the picture, and it will take like the mountain range and go
Without any lens trickery.
no lens trickery, and it looks fucking gorgeous. So this guy, Mr. Green on Instagram, has gone back and taken album covers like Nirvana's Nevermind, and it's a square, but then he's expanded it to
There's
be
a
bigger.
bunch of kids in the pool and a floater.
There's all sorts of stuff around the pool. He's done it with Michael Jackson. He's done it with a ton of album covers, and it's really fucking cool.
Is it done via AI?
It's all done AI through Photoshop. And so this weekend, I was playing around with a bunch of stuff through this because it's now my default Photoshop to go to. If I need to delete something, like I took a picture in Mineral Wells of a building, and there's a cone in front of it, or a barrel. Traffic barrel, orange traffic barrel. And normally you got to go in there and you can do the content aware, and it gets a little weird. You can tell that there was something there, and you got to kind of get in there and fudge it a little bit to make it completely disappear. Like I'm used to doing all this, so it's no big deal. If there's something weird in a photo, I can take it out. I can just go in and say circle it and tell it AI generate, and it's gone. And it's perfect. Everything is stitched fucking perfect.
How close are we to just beam me up, Scotty?
Well, we're getting really close to where, nothing's going to be real anymore. But, I also did it on someone's face that has bad...
Gotta go overseas for that, probably.
Acne. I just shot it all over their face.
Instant editing.
I circled their face and put, remove acne, and it just, gone. Perfect. Everything's gone.
Without having to go in and
I don't have to go in there with clone and content aware and hit
yeah.
each little dot and make it look, and then smooth it, make it look good.
We're headed there.
Gone.
Yeah.
And there's pores, and it looks good. It's not a big spoon, a Instagram filter where everybody looks like they're a supermodel and smooth skin. No, it's done right. It's fucking scary. I had a photo of New York I took, and I put, I wanted to expand, the New York City expand. It's of the skyline. It put the right buildings where they were supposed to fucking be when I expanded.
Just like Google Earth came in and it's like...
It takes a little bit. Like it took it about 20 seconds.
That's all AI, man.
But it went, here you go, expanded photo. And I'm like, and everything looks like.
What do you think about the meme that's going around that it's like Chuck Connors told you about this? Mm-hmm. And it's just a picture of him.
Dun, 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 dun.
We're there.
We're there.
Do you think the black hole's about to open up and we're just going to get sucked in? Like
CERN's already done it. CERN's done it. We're done.
Just going to...
All right.
We're just going to go in the universe's butthole and never return. Yep. Just a butthole of blackness.
I don't want to spoil this because I know we have people that are listening that are going through it for the first time. Ted Lasso ended last week.
Oh, yeah. We can't spoil it.
Another time that I've been like... I
was kind of let down.
You were?
Yeah, I was kind of let down. I just want more of it, and I think it ended in a weird way where it's like.
I don't think it's done. I think there will be a spinoff.
I do too. Someone's
Especially
have
when
a
you know
spinoff.
where people went.
They went out of their way to place people.
What I do advise is, I think the next day after I saw the last one, I started over. Go back and watch the pilot. After you watch the last one, go back and watch the pilot. It's the exact same show in reverse.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the things that happen
at the beginning. That's what I was saying.
Happened at the end, and it was awesome.
That's what I was saying that I thought was going to end up happening on the night that I got that I retired. I was saying that I feel like that everything went back to square one. Like it all came full circle and just went back to square one, like where the show started.
So like The Wire.
Yeah,
I did all this
a lot
work.
Like The Wire.
I did all this work, and it means nothing.
Right, exactly. Exactly. That's kind of how I think that's
Nothing.
the underwhelming response that I had for a minute. I was like, well, shit, that was a lot to do about nothing.
Yep.
Like it was polar opposite of the ending of For Mankind or For All Mankind. It's
are we done with that? I don't think we're all done with that, right?
Oh, we're not?
No,
Oh,
I think
man, I
there's
hope
another
not.
season. Right?
I thought they were done. But good gosh, I hope not.
I don't think we're done.
I hope not, man.
Because you got what's her name? We got to find out what
Ted
happened.
Lasso. we got her as president.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The I guess that's her shtick too. That actress, she's just gonna play lesbians now.
I guess so. And then you said you like Shrinking now.
Shrinking. Okay, I binged it.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
Same type of thing. It's like they left the door open for a bunch of stuff too. It's like Apple's thing. It's
that's having another season. That's just the very first season of it.
Is Harrison Ford going to be in it again?
I mean, he's not dead.
Well, that was dark.
He's getting old.
I gotta pee if you want to listen to these. You're gonna have to sing the Blurred Lines lyrics.
Go pee. I'll talk about this weekend, and then we'll play the
I know you
thing.
want it. I know you want it.
Hurry up, go pee.
You're a good girl.
Is that the line to it? You're a good girl? You did? Oh. All right. So why is peeing before we get to voicemail, and then we'll wrap up the show. This weekend, there's 2 things going on that you should go to and not be lame. Get off your lame ass. Stop doing lame, stupid shit, and come and do fun shit. Okay? No one likes lame-os. No one, just don't be lame. Friday on the Green, easy. Whole bunch of people will be there. It's fun. It's a big green lawn over there off Magnolia, Hemp Hill, Rosedale, right there in that area, right there by that Wells Fargo Bank, across from the QT. It's always a good time. But this lineup, you got Holy Moly headlining this thing. Before them, Son of Stan, and before them, Celestial Lamore. It's great. Come out. Let's have some fun. Let's buy some stuff. Let's buy some Dutch babies or whatever they are. The beignet bus. They'll have some stuff that's lemon or something. Hopefully they're there. I don't know. Just don't be lame. No one likes lame-os. And that's an easy one to go to. It's free. Who doesn't like free stuff? Don't be an idiot. Come to a free show with 3 good bands on a green in the middle of summer when it's nice outside. Hopefully it doesn't rain. If it rains, then you can be lame. But don't be lame and stupid. Okay? Second, Saturday night, another free show. Look at this. I'm not making you pay a goddamn penny this weekend with these shows I'm promoting. Saturday night, Gutter Sluts. They are at Twilight. Gutter Sluts is made up of a bunch of Fort Worth's finest, and they are covering and performing Alice in Chains Unplugged front to back, the entire show. And it's going to be awesome. All these guys are badasses. I'm trying to find the thing for it. So,
are they related to the porn site, Gutter Sluts?
No, I don't think so. Where's it at? I can't fucking find it. Never mind. I had it pulled off here, but I don't know where it went. Anyway, I think that starts like, I don't know, 7, 8. It's going to be a badass show. You're going to know the people in the band that are playing. They're all Fort Worth badasses that play and all this other stuff. They wanted to get together and do this, the entire Alice in Chains Unplugged set, and it's going to sound badass. Who doesn't like Matt Mabe? He's on drums. He's in everybody's band playing drums. I think, Matt, didn't you try to get into playing drums in one of your bands?
Man, I would love for him to play drums in any of my bands.
That's going to be cool. The Alice in Chains...
Send him some Stink Flamingo. We'll get him lined up.
Okay. Alice in Chains Unplugged is one of the best Unplugs ever.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
And so that's going to be a fun night. You can sing along, dance. What is it? What James Hetfield say? I need you to sing along, dance along, fuck along, do something to fuck along.
What Dave Grohl say? Hey, you come to my shows. You don't come to my shows to fight.
You come to my shows to dance.
Motherfucker. I think he said motherfucker too, didn't he?
Which they released their album. I had this in the show notes to talk about. I listened to it. I think someone in the band died.
Yeah.
I mean, hearing the way the songs went, I think someone close to Dave
Is this
passed
what you
away.
want to do with your stand-up career? You just want to do this?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think someone close to Dave might have died.
Let me guess. The whole album is about that.
There's a 10-minute song on there too, called "The Teacher." But
it's not Hot for Teacher Part 2?
It's not. They did a 10-minute song. They're trying to be.
Wow. What do you think the teacher's going to look like this year?
Oh, if you've seen the teachers downtown the last few weeks, you wouldn't be saying that in the last few days. There's a big teacher convention at Tarrant County Convention Center. And
well, I know we're going after the show. We're going to go have some drinks down in some bars down in downtown.
No.
Not so much?
Not so much. There's no.
There's not. Wow.
All right, let's play these voicemails. Anyway,
that's
what you
time
do.
out. Did you, while we're talking about entertainment and stuff, did you see Sam Hagar and his message to Maynard? They got a little liquor beef going, I guess.
I thought they were buddies because there's a whole show on YouTube
tongue-in-cheek.
about them
it's
hanging
funny,
out. Oh, they are.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just funny that Maynard is friends with all these people now.
No,
like they
Sammy
love him. Everybody loves Maynard.
Sammy flew to the Vineyard to hang out with Maynard and talk about it, and they went on this long tour. It's a whole TV show they did together.
Oh, is it Sammy Hagar's show that he has?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I got to check that out.
That one where he's just running around the world talking to people and hanging out.
Yeah,
it's his podcast, but he has money to have a whole production crew behind him.
He's made it.
Sammy? Yeah. Oh, through everything?
Yeah. That's as much as that guy hung and partied with everyone.
And banged everything that walked.
And he looks great. The guy looks great.
I mean, he wrote a song about making one of his girlfriends finish what she started.
I thought that was about like encyclopedias or like Odysseus or the Odyssey. It's not?
According to his story, is that Eddie came over one night in the middle of the night while he was getting it on with some chick upstairs, while Sammy was getting it on upstairs, and was throwing rocks at the window and shit.
Get out of here.
And was like,
man.
come down here, I got this riff. And they started going through this song progression that Eddie had, that he was just up in the middle of the night and was like, hey, listen to this. And they're like, oh, yeah. And they started kind of fingering through things and working stuff out. And then Sammy's like, all right, I'll go write the words, whatever. And they had a whole, on the porch or whatever, a whole song structured out. And then he goes back upstairs and told the girl he was with, like,
okay,
come on, baby, finish what you started. And then it turned into a whole song. That's his story.
That's his life story. The man's whole life is awesome shit like that.
How do you just do awesome shit all the time?
Your whole life.
Your whole life. Like, you just...
Like, he farted, or his mom farted him out, and he was like, come on, baby.
I mean...
let's do this.
Montrose was okay. But Solo Sammy, and then Van Halen Sammy, Cabo Wabo Sammy's kind of weird.
No, but still, he's still going at it. Like,
He
still.
is.
I don't think he owns those places anymore.
No, I don't
I think he already sold them and made a bunch of money off of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's a smart thing to do.
Dude, if I ever got Kajillionaire famous, I'd straight move to Kauai and be like him, except on Kauai. And I would sell Texas barbecue down there
The natives would kill you
immediately.
doing that. Yep.
Be like,
Yeah.
throw him in the ocean.
Take him to that island. Watch what happens. All right. Let's see here. You want to hear this?
Which one? Is it the phone calls?
Yeah, we got 2 here. Looks like, I think.
Any
It
la-
said 11, and I don't know where the hell
Any
11
ladies?
came from. Here we go.
Hello. I didn't wait for the beat. It's nice to see that the guys are on the show together. We are watching you live. You might be able to hear it in the background. I was actually
Is it
streaming
delayed?
you the entire time while we were doing our show. I just had you on mute for one brief moment. I forgot to mute it, and it did bleed over into our show a little bit. If you didn't know this is Tim from the Funky Panther.
I think we
I've
owe
also
money.
got the other boys here.
Hey, it's me. I'm also here. I thought we were going to do like a whole thing. Like we were going to do different names.
Could do
Hey,
it.
there's me, just the guy who's over here listening to your show. You got some spooky people there. I didn't know it was such an Anglo-oriented show. Man, he's going to watch the F1 there this past weekend. That Max Verstappen, he seems kind of German. I know he ain't, but you know, it is what it is. We're all here for that Mexican Checo.
Hey, I'm just Gary.
Mad Max
I'm not
Verstappen.
going to see you boys together again, but
Verstappen.
which one of you had to lick your butthole to make sure that this continues to happen? Because I heard what happened there. It seems that
Lift your
I
butthole.
know when I was terrified. I just want to make sure that you boys still love each other.
I'm
You
glad
know,
we didn't
licking the
stab.
butthole and doing things you got to do to make sure that the JJTN stays together for another
I need
100
this
years.
translated.
So
I don't
let us
understand. They're
know.
Chinese.
We love you very much.
I think they're happy
Happy.
that we
All
didn't,
right, boys.
we didn't retire.
Y'all keep it real.
Eat my ass. I hope you eat it and you spit down my throat. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
I hope that was recorded with real audio over on their end, so I
All
can
right,
just
I'll be
sample that. That was great. And congratulations to those boys for winning an award in the Fort Worth Magazine.
Fort Worth Magazine.
They got that category, the best radio podcast personality, to where they were up against radio.
Oh yeah,
And Fort Worth Magazine. You know,
yeah. We already beat
that's
the
like
radio.
that's like their
We already fought all the radio people.
that's like their 4th one, 5th one to win that, or something like that. Maybe 9th. I don't know. That's pretty awesome. They got it. That's
They
pretty
get
neat.
money.
Well, I told them how to use Russian bots and hackers to win these things. So
That's how you get it done,
So-
man.
I don't know who this is. It's 13 seconds. Let's see.
Oh, no. Sounds like a butt dial.
I think that's Morse code. They need help. It is a butt dial. Nothing. We can't even figure anything out from that. Wow, we got a butt dial this week. Neat.
Call that number.
Call them back. Why'd you butt dial us?
Yeah.
I need to hook the phone up and just do that. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the voicemails.
It's good to know people listen
And if you're
all
gonna
the way
listen,
to the end of the show.
at the very end of the show, I'm going to promote this now. Go ahead and mark down July 15th. July 1-5. July.
There's a lot of stuff already happening
1-5.
this summer, you know? We got a lot of events already that are lining up perfectly.
July 15th, you need to be at the Cicada because a band called The Spectacle will be playing with Sharpie, Oberon, and Stone Wolf. So, July 15th, The Spectacle. Don't be lame. I've already gone on this rant already.
Is that one going to be free? Hell no.
No, fuck. We want all your money. Give us your money.
Just give us your cash.
The only thing I ask is that there will be Schaffa Hoffler in the building. I got to tell Tyler that. We need to bring some Schaff.
I bet she won't oppose to that, being that she had it at the Tin Panther
We drank
for a little bit.
all of her Schaff that night. And that's the night you died.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. You died that night. Huh.
That was a weird night.
That was a very weird night. Other than that, I'm done.
Well, man, that's a wrap then. I'm going home. I'm I'm gonna watch the that Apple video of the U2s.
Oh, and not the WWDC.
No,
The U2 one, yeah.
and actually, I'm gonna watch that too.
That's 2 hours long.
Actually, I'm gonna go in
Just
and
fast forward it.
wreck some shit up in augmented reality real quick before I leave.
I'm hoping.
Were you scared I was gonna kick a window out or something accidentally?
No, the
Or
other thing I was
gonna
worried
fall
about
down
was you
and
kept
die?
spinning in circles, and I was like, "Is that cord? Are you gonna?"
And you see me
wrap
play
yourself up?
live.
You're gonna be like an AT-AT here in a minute and just fall over. I'm hoping Aiden found, because supposedly Formula or F1 2022 was on there. Hopefully there's a demo and I can go in there and play it real fast.
I know that they're selling 3 days advance sale. Like you can get it 3 days early. So I don't know if they're. I think you might be past the time where you could demo it because it's coming out the end of the month.
But the computer games always have like demos you can check out.
Oh,
real
it's
quick.
not like Xbox.
Ah, because it's VR set. You know, you want to make sure you can handle it and everything.
You walked
works.
in there right now, and Aiden somehow like hacked Formula One and got you a version of the 2023. Would you go to sleep tonight?
No. He get mad
because he'd want to finish his stores, his shooting
He'd
stores.
Be like, I want to. He does. He is being good with it. He's like, I
He's
got to take breaks. I've got to put this
put
away.
it down
I can
every
only
once
do
in
this
a
a
while.
little bit. We were talking about Half-Life, how long the game is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, don't go in there and fucking blow through it. Like Jedi Survivor, I haven't even beat it yet, and he like within 2 days was like, okay, I beat the story, and now I'm going back.
Didn't he
and
do that
100%
with
it.
the campaign on the last Call of Duty too? Like had it like 30 minutes. It's like, well, I'm done.
I think he bought it one morning and that afternoon was like, all right, I'm done. I've already gone through the campaign. I was like, what? He plays different than
he plays to get through the maps quickest.
He plays like he's a speed softer.
Yeah,
like he runs through everything, going nuts. And whereas I'm one that's meticulous and will grab things, and I want stuff, and I want to power up I want all the different lightsaber handles, and I want all the different outfits and stuff. He's not that way. Yeah. He just runs and guns through everything, and he plays way different. Like I was watching him play Jedi Survivor, and the way he was fighting people, I was like, "What are you doing?" It was jumping and zipping around and flying through the air. Whereas I'm
doing the Yoda Jedi approach,
which is funny because you have like 5 different stances you can use in this one, or 6, and like he's going nuts, flying everywhere. Whereas I'm more Darth Vader, slow, and I'm just hacking people down, just with pure strength. He's flying around. It's funny. It's funny watching other people play things, especially younger people play video games, and be like, "What are you?" I can't.
Different
do it.
style. It's the same with bowling. If you see these new kids bowl, they do this weird thing where I don't even know if they use the holes, but they'll curl it up like this and put their other arm like this and go up and like do this weird new school like flick. Like they put spin on the ball, but they do it in like turbo spin because they use both their hands. Which I don't even know if you can do that in bowling league. Can you use 2 hands to spin your ball?
I think you can.
Well, they should do it.
I think there are pros now on the
like trick it up. They're like freestyle bowlers.
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy.
I think there are.
I just cut my finger or pulled the hangnail and it's starting to bleed everywhere. So
all right, well, no more DNA in here. We're out of here. Later. Save this. So this is VR in F122, and this is showing whoever's playing it what it looks like through their goggles. Look, so he's looking around. They're working on the car. He's looking in his mirror. But he's looking around like there goes another car past him. No, that isn't. That's all I want to do. I want to be able to look. I want to move my head around and look and see where people are. I don't have to use the controller. And I want to know how it works with the controllers for shifting through the buttons and.
So, hey,
No, hold on. I guess I should have stopped that.